All right. All right, folks, we're back. Oh, almost forgot to hit start recording. But yeah, so it's been a while. Folks who've been watching know that I couldn't make it last Sunday because I had a family trip to go on, and it was quite a blast. Got to go up north and see family, eat lots of good food. Um, I love so most of my family lives in West Virginia, right? And there's this really awesome place called Ridgeview Barbecue. Has like one of the best burgers I've ever had. It's fallen off a little bit, but they have hands down the best fries I've ever had, and that is huge because I am not a fries person. I almost never eat my fries. But these are awesome. They're called firecracker fries, and they are so just like perfectly, excellently seasoned. Another good place that I'd recommend is Pies and Pints in the capital city, Charleston. Absolutely freaking love their chicken. What was it? Chicken Gouda with like bacon and scallions. It is literally the best pizza I have ever had ever. And they have something else. I forget what it's called, like Southland spicy chicken or whatever. Only catch with that one is that it comes with pickles. So, and it comes with like a lot of pickles. So I would say order it with like maybe like 25% as many pickles as it normally comes up with. Like tell them you want it light on the pickles. Because, tasting it, I can get why the pickles are there. I wouldn't necessarily order with no pickles, but they do kind of go overboard. I mean, pickles are already one of the most like overpowering, flavorful things on the planet. So you don't need a lot. Like a little bit goes a long way. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And then this coming Sunday, tomorrow, my best friend Jaren's coming into town, and I wanted to just chill out with him because I don't get a whole lot of time with him, and it's going to be a pretty short visit this time because he's got to go back to where he lives, which is not an insignificant distance away. It's not like West Virginia, but it's up there. So I wanted to just focus on him tomorrow, so I figured I'll go ahead and just do this week's stream early. I'll do it on Saturday, or do this week's stream extremely late, and then no stream next week, depending on how you look at it. Because normally stream on Sunday, this time it's on Saturday. It's whatever, semantics. It was scary though. It was a bit of a photo finish because until very recently, I did not have a PC at all. Um, it was very, very scary because I was so before the trip, I left my PC at like my local tech guy's shop, and so that was something that was like haunting me the entire time that I was out of town. I'm just not comfortable leaving my PC in someone else's custody for a lengthy period of time when I'm not at home, can't do anything about it. Um, and then some ways in, I find out that he actually had a seizure and cracked two of his ribs, and so he had actually not had any time at all to work on my PC, which is very, very, very sad balls. Because that was like something I was really looking forward to this spring break was giving that guy a chance to just sit down with it and troubleshoot it to the fullest extent and finally figure out why Psychonauts 2 is not booting. But now I don't get that, and it's going to be like another 7 weeks before I get any appreciable amount of time off. So that's another 7 weeks of no Psychonauts 2. And just like gaming prospects in general being dodgy, because not only does Psychonauts 2 not boot, but certain other games do not boot, like the Tech Runners demo, I think that's what it's called, or Ghost Runner or whatever. Like the thing the guy told me to download for troubleshooting purposes, that does not boot. So it's concerning and just really sad because like my lifestyle is just such that I cannot leave my PC in someone else's custody for long, long periods of time. This was like my one chance to do it, and like just couldn't do it. So, and then because of his hospitalization, there was a time when the store was closed during normal business hours, and I couldn't contact anyone. So, like, there was nothing short of like I don't know. What do you do in that situation? Like, call the police, have them break in and take your stuff away from where you left it. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But yesterday I got it. I plugged everything in, and then I found out that my camera was not working, or more specifically, my video capture elements in OBS were not working because for whatever reason, just every once in a while, OBS is like, let's go ahead and switch it up on you, keep this fellow on his toes. And so now I had to create new video capture elements that are identical in every way to the video capture sources I was already using, except they have a different name. And that makes them work. So, yeah, that's really annoying. Another annoying thing about OBS is that, the video capture has to be behind everything else. It has to be behind the little overlay and all the graphics, the text box, all the alerts that are going on in all the corners, the chat box. It's got to be underneath everything. But when you create a new element, it always goes to the top. There's no way to tell it to not do that. So for each of my scenes, I had to create the new video capture element, which should not be necessary in the first place, and then slowly drag it all the way down to the bottom of the list of sources, and then do it again for every scene that uses video capture. So that's annoying. Also just annoying was that, as fun as it was to go on this little trip, I didn't necessarily want to do it in the first place. I would have much rather just had the entire spring break to myself to do my own thing. Instead, I have very, very, very little time to do my own thing. Just the same as if it were a normal work week, because instead I'm getting pulled in every other direction by every other person in my life. Also, had probably the worst service ever at my local Chick-fil-A. It was extremely long. I was worried that it was going to be a photo finish to make it back home in time to start my stream. So that's rough. And my local bakery is not selling chocolate chips anymore. They're selling chocolate chip cookies with M&Ms, which, if I'm in the middle of the Gobi Desert and I'm starving, I won't turn them down. I definitely had worse, but I would really just have regular chocolate chip because, in my experience, baking M&Ms into cookies just takes the hard candy shell and makes it even harder to the point where it's like little bits of porcelain in your cookie, and I don't like it. So, yeah. Oh, and sorry that it's a bit of a mess still around here. I'm trying to reorganize things in a way that is a little more logical, a little more interesting. But yeah, it's funny. Right before stream, I was in a pretty good mood, and now I've like kind of talked myself out of it by talking about all the things that have gone horribly wrong. One thing that's gone horribly right. Hmm. One second. Still got a little lunch in between my teeth. One thing that has gone horribly right is Mountain Dew Live Wire. The nectar of life back in my hands at last. This is something that they do not sell where I live. The only place I've been able to find it is up north. So, yeah. Not sponsored, by the way, or anything. I know that you could easily be fooled. Because we drink a lot of Mountain Dew on this channel. But, yeah. But, I mean, hey, Mountain Dew, if you want to hit me up, just don't say no. But yeah, Livewire is my favorites. Folks know that that I've been in love with it since I was like 12 years old, back when it was a summer exclusive. And then they made it all year, and then they decided that they weren't going to sell it in my region ever. And the only way to get it is off of Amazon, which is annoying. Less annoying is the fact that this time I've managed to order my sleep aid off Amazon, and it does not take like, what was it, 1.5 to 2 months to show up. It should show up in just like a few days. So that's nice. So yeah, that's about everything that is going on in my life right now. But we're here now. I remember to fix my hair for stream. I remember to fix the text before stream. That's nice. Usually I forget that, and that's the first thing I have to do when stream starts. And now it's time to do a little catching up because I missed last week's chapter, and we got another one this week. So we're going to have a little double feature. Starting with what happened? Okay. So that's okay. There we go. Fixed. Oh my golly, that was getting me miffed that was not working properly. Kind of want to futz with this a little bit though. Because I want the chapter to be visible, but not too visible. Opacity down very slightly because it's already very low. There, that should be suitable. So we've got chapter 1178, Fading Nightmare, with a cover request by Nana Kaunita. Useless Kraton mid being chased by a bull in a bullfight. Okay. So I wonder if maybe this is playing into his Punk Cornadillo attack, where he has an affinity for bulls and does not want to do harm to them. This is not working the way it's supposed to, by the way. Okay, there we go. The little thing that shows me like stream health. The YouTube live control panel on OBS was not being very nice. So, okay, Fading Nightmare. Okay. That sounds like a good thing. So, Luffy and Loki confront Gunko. Hey, Luffy. What? Usopp, Brook. Take care of them. What the hell happened over there? Need a hand? If things get worse, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. That's, it's not normally something you hear from Luffy. especially after post time skip, where like he's really tried to be strong enough to protect others and not need protecting and not need help. I mean, obviously he does. He had plenty of help back in Wano, but actually hearing Luffy admit that he might need help for this fight, that's a lot. That is a lot. Also, again, us Frankie fans just quietly eating because this is Frankie offering Luffy a helping hand. But you guys better stay a little farther back because Loki's going to start wrecking everything. That's the pot calling the kettle black, huh? A ship from the Giants was sighted many years ago, and its captain was of extraordinary size. However, those who moved while hiding within the deep fog targeted only world government ships and struck them down. Wait, what? Wait, what? Ship from the Giants was sighted many years ago, and its captain was those who moved while hiding within the deep fog targeted only world government ships and struck them down. I thought, no, this what? I thought Harold. I might have to refresh my memory. I thought Harold at that time was working as a member of God's Steel and helping to hunt down pirate ships within the Florian Triangle. Not world government ships. He was trying to kiss up to the world government at the time. I'm the one who's going to blow her away. I can bring you all to ruin. Stop it, Loki. Big whack. Zoro's headgear still whack. And big lightning blast of like, is it coming from like down in the realm of the dead? I thought they were up in the trees. But yeah, that's a big blast. And now everything is on fire. Thanks, Loki. Was that thunder? There's fire on the south side of the island, Chief Ja Rule. Did you hear a horn too? Anything but fire. We must put it out. Meanwhile, at the same time, there were reported sightings of a giant flying creature. She got away. Where is she? She's so tiny. Come on, man. Up your like observation hockey. Like she's right there talking to you. Those rumors being told as if they were true. I see. It makes sense now. She's over there. How dare you do that to Usopp and to Brook? What? Wait, what? What the she's shooting some like nasty black goo out of her delicious tummy. Oh boy. Something came out of her. It would be most fitting if you were all to simply disappear. Just as wait, who said her tummy was delicious? That was weird. Who said that? It would be most fitting if you were all to simply disappear, just as rocks did. A quarrel. Wait, what? Their hands are going through like little weird portals. A quarrel. In exchange for a certain portion of your lifespan. I grant you even greater strength. In exchange for all of in exchange of all that, you shall hate each other. Dami Reversi. Somehow I feel like this is not going to work this time. Like for once, this is not going to work. What? Oh no. Sorry, folks. Forgot to put my phone on silent. So let me go ahead and take care of that right now. And tell the person who's trying to text me what's up. I literally just told them when my stream is happening. Okay, there we go. That's fixed. Now, I had the feeling that wouldn't work. The question is why? Because we got to think back, right? Like, this is the power that worked against Rox. And Rox was like him. He was like the number one guy in the world, in the verse. And it worked on him. It took a little doing on Emu's part, which is unusual. But like it did work, so why not this time? What did you just do, huh? That didn't even hurt. What an annoying little thing. Hey, you there. You mentioned Rox earlier, didn't you? Just as expected. You two really are. Gumma Gumma no? Now it's even smaller. I can't fight like this. Kuriviri. Wait, who's laughing like that? Is that the squirrel chipmunk thing? Is that Loki? I don't remember what Loki's laugh sounded like. Dawn Gatling. Which is obviously not going to work. Like, we still remember the God Valley incident where Emu took basically all of the most powerful moves in the verse all at the same time, and it had no effect at all. Look at Ragnar. Look at the face on that dude. Ragnar. Kuriri. Okay, so that's him making that little noise. Get out of the way, Luffy. Kuriri. Whoa, wait. Niflheim. And he makes a big old block of ice. And Emu's still attached to Gunko, so it's kind of like the God Valley incident where he like comes out of Saturn's back. Whoa, so that's how you do things, huh? But I wasn't done beating her up yet. Nah. No idea who that is. Still, I guess that was the fastest way to finish this. And they ended up getting way too big myself. Huh. Fisherman Village Elbaf. I thought that said Fishman Village for a second. I was like, what? Are we about to meet the famous Wotans? That very obscure, hyper-specific race that showed up in, like, one arc, maybe two, ever, and then never again. I think the only Wotan we've ever seen was that big guy who worked for Foxy, and then Wotan's got maybe one other mention, like, way later, like hundreds of chapters later. We've got to put this fire out fast. Sure, that bastard Loki took down the monsters, but cleaning up this mess is going to be a nightmare. Hunter's Village, Elbaf. They said Loki wasn't the one who killed King Harold. I feel bad for doubting that before, but just look at this. Aside from that, he's always causing us trouble. Keep the rain coming, Zeus. Let it pour. Umi Gumo Iponzioi. What? What move is that? The ODC has its limits, you know. Okay, that's good, because I was worried that my Straw Hats were getting power crept again. Western Village. Oh, I think it's over, right? We managed to turn them back to white. Finally, all those redheaded people that Hollywood tried to erase from history. They've been turned back to white. That regeneration didn't help them at all. Forgive us, Chiefs. We got swallowed up by that evil. It's okay. We couldn't resist it either. Damn you, Chiefs. How dare you? There are 2 or 3 left, right? Alright, leave it to me. And then Chopper does it again. He whacks them in, like, the back of the head. And then their little, like, naughtiness, like, is like, expelled. Don't take that out of context. Zoro, what did you do? I don't know either, but when I punch them, they snap out of that demonic transformation. Could it be because you're such a great doctor? I'm not happy at all when you compliment me like that, you idiot. That's gotta be it, Zoro. Amazing. Gababa. I don't know about that. There's something going on. Does it have something to do with the human fruit? Like, does it have the power to give these people their humanity back? Is that it? That would be kind of a wild interaction, but that could be it. Maybe. That could also have some. That could also play into like Luffy's devil fruit, but like Loki doesn't have that. I don't know. It's weird. I'll wait for more confirmation before I say anything too wild. No signs of enemies in the artisans' village. However, the fire is still spreading. No enemies in the alcohol village either, but the fire continues. Now hold on a second. Who is this baddie who just showed up out of nowhere? Like, look at her. Like, hey now. The like long hair with braids and then the bandana with the horn sticking out, that's a vibe. Put out any fires wherever they're still burning. Also confirm whether the demons are dead or not and where they are. The Owl Library, which is all iced up now. Saul, what does this mean? What? You can clearly tell there was a fire here too, but there's no sign of any burned books, and the shelves are completely empty? And Biblo the Owl isn't here either. The shelves are empty? Now hold on a sec. I thought that maybe I'm just not remembering, Like, this has happened more recently, I think, ever since I became a streamer, I have a lot more trouble remembering what happened in earlier chapters. But I thought that, wasn't it like Loki who iced the place up? But there's no books. The shelves are empty. Biblo the Owl in here. But wait, let's not lose hope. What if he escaped with the books? I hope that's the case, but then where is Biblo now? Excuse me. Ever since the counterattack began, things moved pretty fast. But it's not like we were fighting some massive organization or anything. Even if they were Knights of the Holy Land, there were only 3 of them. Still, just 3 people managed to throw all of Elbaf into chaos. What happened to Imu-sama? Excuse me? At the edge of the western village. So there's Summer's head. I don't remember how it got here. But, I think, yeah, he got like smarched up by Loki. And his head got split in half. What is that? What is this like glimmering, lustrous heart that... Is that his heart like all coated in hockey? Or is it mechanical? I can't tell from the art, but like using hockey on your internal organs would be wild. So then he puts himself back together. Ow, ow, ow. Luffy's side. Loki, I need food. Just go to the village yourself. I'm not going over there to get it. Squirrel, I need food. And what's with that appearance? Kuri-ri-ri. And of course, Emu smashes out because ice moves are kind of secretly garbage. Any move that like encases the enemy entirely in ice, they always just smash out and never actually works. Holy Land, Bourgeoisie, Pangea Castle, Chamber of Flowers, Gorosei, Yesi Musama. Mu shall withdraw from the Holy Land for a brief time. Okay, that's a bit of an escalation. So Emu's actually going to like go in person, where they will almost certainly be able to use the full extent of their power. Okay. So, and just keep in mind that anytime that Emu is like manifested remotely, like they've been pretty unbeatable. So the idea of them being there in person is quite scary. But that's it for 1178. And it's pretty cool arc. Mostly tying up loose ends, but then but now I suppose the final boss is about to make their big move. We're seeing a little bit more of what's going on with like Chopper's thing, so it's nice to get a little bit of a follow up on that. It's not conclusive, but very interesting. And now there's this going on where we don't know where the books are. So that's curious. This is also curious. This is like very strange. Also, this is like am I tripping? This person's heart is in his head? Does he have more than one heart? What's going on here? There's a lot of... Or did they just land next to each other, his head and his heart? There's a lot of weird stuff going on. But, I mean, that was a pretty cool chapter, and now... oh my gosh, this is the best part of being away. We immediately get to dig into a new one. So, chapter 1179 with the extraordinarily ominous name, The Advent of Nerona Emu. So, okay. Alright. And then we get a cover request filled with all of my least favorite characters. Well, not all of them. I mean, Flambe isn't here. But, like, I'm not that big of an Ace person, and I'm really not that big of a Yamato person. Cover request by Naoyama, who wants to travel. Ace Otama and Yamato taking several baby wild boars on a walk along a swamp. Okay. What are Emu's intentions? Emu-sama, what did you say? Holy Land, Bourgeoisie, Hall of Power. I prefer the Room of Authority. I think that is a really cool name for that room. Don't tell me you intend to go to Elbaf. Please reconsider. For you to descend to the lower world like this. How can you all remain so calm? Do you really believe the Holy Land is already safe? Garling. With Shamrock's return, things do seem to be settling down. But do you really think you can just sit here and do nothing? The lower world resupply operation is still ongoing. What kind of rulers are you if you can't even fill your people's bellies? What we need right now is military power to keep the world under control. And also the former Marine headquarters. Ooh. The former Marine... So, old Marineford. Something's going on there? That has me curious. But of course, he gets interrupted. Garling, where's the food? This isn't the life of this isn't the life a Tenryubito should be living. I already told you, York. The Holy Land is currently suffering from a shortage of supplies. And one of the things we'll need to resolve is the Mother Flame. If you want to live the life of a Tenryubito, figure out a way to produce energy now. But I'm hungry. Marie-Joisie Labo Phase Power Plant. And there's York in my favorite pose, on her back with her legs up. I know she's evil. I know. But I cannot help myself. That's not what I was promised. Come to think of it, your original body, Vegapunk, was rebellious as well. You'll need to take responsibility for that too. But I'm so... and Boss just hangs up. It's been nothing but disastrous lately. All of this began after Nika appeared. Was it merely coincidence, or was it truly inevitable? In any case, Imu-sama, this is wild, by the way. This is probably the most sustained conversation between the top brass that we have ever had. This is crazy seeing characters who were so elusive and mysterious before, really taking center stage. This truly is the final saga. You must not leave Pangea Castle. We will dispatch the admirals stationed at headquarters to Elbaf. I'd advise against that. They're already far too occupied with everything going on. Then we shall go once more ourselves, Imu-sama. Warkiri, this was no coincidence. Cast aside all lust, sloth, and pride at once. Everything was indeed inevitable. I'll be back. Whoa. Why is he thinking about this moment now? I mean, this moment never came true, right? But, I don't know. This is kind of what I was thinking, is there something going on with Blackbeard that we should know, where he's actually rocks in some way? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, whoops. No. Oh boy. Search the whole world. It seems that Neptune has had a daughter. The devil fruit was stolen? What lies in Elbaf? We investigated the captain of the ship that sailed through the fog. His name is Loki. He is Harold's son. Ooh, so... is it that some point between then and now, Loki was the creature lurking in the Florian Triangle? Is that what that was? Whitebeard protected him? Who is he? Monkey D. Luffy. Who is that? Marshall D. Teach. Nefertari D. Lilly. Joy Boy. Davy Jones. Do you yet persist in making Mu suffer? Mu desires Vivi. All of this began long ago. Okay, alright. We're getting geared up. We're flashing back to all of the biggest players. The actual biggest players. All the people that Imu has it out for. All of this began long ago. Imu-sama. And trust the Holy Land unto thy hands. Okay. You're getting me kind of hyped now. Imu-sama. But if you descend to the lower world, it is not within our authority to stop him. Him. We finally got a proper non-made up pronoun. I don't know if that was a translation error, but he totally said him. But Imu-sama, you must not leave this castle. There is no need to say that, since it is something Imu-sama has already decided. Warkiri is really protesting. Mars too. I wonder if they're going to be next on the chopping block. There is no one who can stop him. Oh boy. Oh gosh and golly gee. And his teleporting powers are pretty... No, wait. There's already a summoning circle in Elbaf. I forgot. New World Elbaf. Hajrudin, Stanson, Sunrealm, Western Village. Look here. One of the demons is trying to piece itself back together. Are these bugs trying to make a fool out of me? How is he still alive? Here, look. It's like a magnet. Terrifying. The terrifying one here is you. Oh, Summers. Oh, there is no helping someone with such poor taste in women as you. Gerd is top tier. Your name is Gerd, isn't it? I'll remember that. I'll make sure you die in the coolest way possible. Take a look at this, too. Is that... It's a metal heart. Is that a metal heart? So if we smash that thing, they won't be able to return to normal anymore? Oh, what is going on here? Oh, it's not just devil fruit power. It's like this wacky metal heart that makes them go. Because Summers, he does not exactly have a poker face right now. He's kind of given away that Zora has correctly surmised that these metal hearts are what make them so invincible. So these regenerating people, they have a core, this metal heart, which I don't know why they have it, or where it came from, or how long this has existed, but they have them, and that is like their core. And if that goes, they go too. That's big. That is huge. Because even with the little Conqueror's hockey hack that Scoper has and that other people have cooked up, it is never enough to fully all the way shut down their regeneration. They'll always put themselves back together. It just takes longer. But if there's a weak point, then wow. Near Walrus School, Brooke, Usopp, it's going to be okay. Man, looks like you guys broke some bones, huh? How about becoming cyborgs? That would be so cool, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. Why not, really? I've always kind of wondered that. Zoro not having an eye? Well, clearly, Frankie can make cyborg eyes, yeah? And I know, Zoro's got his observation hockey or whatever. Whatever. I would still consider it to be better to have both your eyes. It was also sad that Law never gave Zoro his left eye back. But, whatever. At least he had that because, they had a temporary alliance. He wouldn't want to make his foes... He wouldn't want to make the people who would eventually become his enemies more powerful. Here's my question, though. If cyborg technology exists, just out there, why doesn't Shanks get it like a robot arm? I feel like that would have made sense. Because there's going to be some people who can do it, right? I won't forget your name, Sanji. Say my name. Go on. Nah, I forgot. And then Gunko. Still waiting for more between Gunko and Brooke. And I can't tell. Is this just the ice, or I can't tell. It's a little unclear. I can't tell if that's the stuff coming out of Gunko, or if it's gone now and that's just the ice. It seems like Gunko is all the way back to normal now. Why is the whole school frozen? It's not that it was frozen. All the thermal energy. Oh, that was Lilith that did it. Damn it! Even the food's frozen solid. This sucks. Food. I gotta give food to Bro Usopp and Bro Brooke. Why is Luffy talking like that? Before that, you're the one who needs to get back to normal. Hey, Loki, that girl you froze a little while ago, did she die? Ah, that's instant freezing, so she's not dead. And this little guy here is the only one who can thaw that ice. Oh, that's, okay. That's a little overpowered. The idea of, like, ice that never melts unless you want it to? That's a little scary. Okay. Alright. She's not going anywhere, so don't worry. What? Huh? Oh, that's like the big black line. I like Nami's face. Yeah. That's the big, extra thick black lightning. That's why are there a bunch of black lightning bolts that are all extra thick? What is that? That doesn't look like ordinary black. It's black smoke. Ah, yeah. What? Look at the sky. Oh, oh, my eyes are racing all over this page. So, oh my gosh, this is like that big super attack from the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Is that a magic circle? It's an extra thick magic circle. Everything's extra thick around here. Guys, come look at this. The trees are shaking. I'm right here with you, Nami-san. And then, look at the houses. What is this? Am I dreaming? Yeah. Is this like... Oh, man. So, of course, it's Awakened, but, like, this is starting to feel like it is literally the opposite of Luffy's Devil Fruit. Because, like, everything's, like, dancing and singing, but now it is evil. It is like, this is Halloween. The forest trees, too? Is this someone's power at work? Yeah, there's some sort of, like, evil music. And now there's a big, like, burning ring of fire. And then another extra thick bolt of black lightning. And now everyone's getting knocked out. Wait, what? So the kids are getting knocked out, obviously. But the giants aren't. Chopper's not? Nami's not? Is it coming from the castle? That hockey. It's the same one we felt earlier. Arist Castle. Oh, is that how we're going to spell it now? I mean, that's a lot easier to pronounce, I think. Arist Castle, Throne Room. Cough, cough. Splat? What? Erg. Slow up. Is there, like, something wrong with Emu where they're actually not ridiculously OP? Does he have some kind of condition where he can't leave the Holy Land without coughing up blood? Now, what's all this about? He's got wings. Ah, who is that over? Oh. Oh no. Oh no, he's hot. Oh wow, great one. It can't be. He came personally? Someone's there on the castle roof. Creator of the world government. One of the first 20. Power. Akuma no Mi. I've, I don't know. Did I say it out loud? I can't remember. Did I call this or not? Like, his power is the devil fruit. It is the devil fruit. The devil fruit. The devil fruit. Akuma no Mi. King of the world, Saint Nerona Emu. Who has The craziest character design ever. This blows away everyone who came before him. That is wild beyond wild. He's got what looks like crazy long Luffy hair. He's got the black cloudy mantle that's all covered in creepy eyes. He's got black flame coming off the back of his crazy ass glaive. He's got this going on. I don't know what this is. Is that like part of his wild looking robes? And then he's got cool tattoos, like really cool tattoos. Like, oh yeah, this is the guy. The Advent break next week, of course. I actually knew that already. But wow. This guy is a little bit more than him. He is him beyond him. Wow. And I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed that he's not a super sexalicious brown skinned queen. But I mean, this is still pretty wow. And he's got the nails. Oh. He is hot and cool all at once. That has got to be my favorite character, one of my favorite character designs ever in all of One Piece, if not just in general. There are going to be so many models and figures of this guy that are going to come out now of him looking exactly like this in this exact pose. Wow, that's his tail. I just realized this big swirly thing is actually his tail, which is super crazy long and has skulls on it, I guess. Wow. He is truly him beyond him. This is the guy. How is this gonna go? I have to imagine it's his condition that he's got, where he's coughing and spitting up blood. It's got to be a situation where they just they just go for timeout and they wait out his condition where he's oh, I can't take it anymore. I've got to go back to the Holy Land, and then he leaves. That's got to be what that is, right? But wow. That is phenomenal. Everything about this is perfect. But yeah, break next week. Holy crap. That is one of the best chapters ever. Ever. Certainly the best chapter that I've read in this arc, in this saga, is probably the best chapter that I've read. Yeah, because I started streaming in when we were in Egghead. Yeah, so best chapter I've read since I've started streaming. This is absolutely enormous. I'm surprised because this is 1179, right? I'm surprised that Oda didn't pad this out a little bit more so that we could get this right on chapter 1200. So chapter 1200 is only 21 chapters away. Probably going to get it this year, near the end of the year. So what is that going to be like? Huh? I can't help but wonder. Then let me pull up a calendar, right? Oh shoot, when's Golden Week? Slow up a bit. When's Golden Week? Not that it's going to help, right? Because I constantly forget how Golden Week works. When is it? April 29th to May 6th. Okay, so we're signing up for, I guess, 3 more chapters this month. Like with the regular breaks and everything, I figure it'll be like let's just estimate that we get like 3 chapters a month, right? And we've got 21 more chapters to go, so you know, um, April, May, June, uh, July, August, um, September, October. So sometime in, we'll be generous and say November. So November is when we're probably going to get chapter 1200. What is that going to be like? Because after this, like like this, we are very definitively in the third act of the Elbath arc. Like we established everything, we we switched things up. Now we are most certainly at our lowest point, where the ultimate dude has shown up. So, and we also got to think, right? Like Oda said himself that we should be taking steps to like get to the last island this year. So I figure within the next 21 chapters, or like right on the dot, like on chapter 1200, this will be resolved. It will be resolved, or it will have been resolved, and we'll start moving on to like the last or one of the last islands. This is big. This is a big year for One Piece. Enormous, really. Like, there's no going back after this. It is just going to keep escalating and keep getting more and more peak. Like, you see him right there. He's standing on the peak. Wow. This is. Wow. I just can't say enough good things about this. This is amazing. This bodes incredibly well for the future of One Piece for the rest of the year. It's just awesome. Wow. So, that'll do it for One Piece. For now, there are just like a few other things that I wanted to check out. So, let me whip this up. I should start rocking subtitles from now on. So, one thing I wanted to check out was the trailer or teaser, if there's a difference, for Guyver Genesis. This is from our friends over at Guyver Midnight. We checked out their little short film that they cranked out earlier. What was it, this year or last year? I think it might have been last year. And it was just a little short film, but I mean, it was promising in terms of tone and production. Looking forward to seeing more of what these guys can cook up. So this is only 33 seconds. Again, this is the Guyver Genesis teaser from Guyver Midnight. Please go ahead and check them out and support them because, you know, we're big fans of Guyver around here. I mean, if I was to just whip out my phone right now, well, the first thing you're gonna see. Hold on a sec. I gotta not show off my phone number. I don't know if you can see. There's the Guyver Gigantic right there, and then my current wallpaper. It's like bam, right there. So yeah, us Guyver fans, we gotta stick together. You know, it's dark times. The manga has been on indefinite hiatus for years and years. It's very unlikely to ever come back. I think it's pretty much just done, which is very sad because I very much wanted there to be a happy ending to all of this. But it would take so many chapters to do that, to actually wrap this up. And also, you know, just it's our policy around here. We are not for pirating and parasitizing our fellow entertainers on the platform. Here at Cross Age Productions, we are all about curation and critique, right? So, just another reminder to go out and support the original creators. Thank you very much. Here we go, Guyver Genesis teaser by Guyver Midnight. Once again, let's see what we got. And actually, before I do this, let me just go ahead and yeah, there. We can do that, and we can get rid of this and this, and there we go. How's that? That could actually be, like, way more visible. Like, way more visible. Hold on. Here we go. Just all the way visible. There we go. Creatures engineered as weapons. The monsters we saw, the device you picked up. Soldiers who were after. Wow, those costumes are so spot on, man. There's a lot more kids in the, like... And and this is, like, the first guy, yeah. Shoot, I don't remember... what the name of this creature was. It was like... Well, I mean, that's pretty awesome if I can just run it back without, you know, spilling my drink everywhere. Golly, I don't remember the name of this guy, but, like, that's an awesome costume. I'll be curious to see if there are any, like, proper creature effects, but yeah, lots of people in the, like, the main cast now. Which, I guess these are going to be the kids that get picked off when the high school gets attacked. But yeah, Guyver Genesis, we are going to get a proper trailer on the 26th of this month, so not a long wait at all. It's definitely not going to feel like a long wait, given that we're going to be on break next week. So, there's that. And then... the other little bit... ooh, no, that's not the vibe. So that's that. I also want to check out a couple videos from Andy M. Lee. We've checked this guy out on the channel before. He's awesome. His content's awesome. We are big into superheroes around here. I mean, we did just talk about Guyver. Yeah, Guyver's a superhero by all definitions. And yeah, he puts out some awesome stuff. I am subscribed to him already. I suggest you guys do as well. And let's check this out. I've got a couple videos from him. The first one I wanted to check it out was Designing DCU Batman with Annoying Superhero Costume Trends.
So recently on YouTube, I've noticed a trend of YouTubers pitching the ideal Batsuit for the DCU. I'm pretty sure this...
That's weird because, I mean, last I checked, we already had the perfect Batman costume. Like, absolutely perfect, which was the Dark Knight costume. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was perfection. There is no iterating on that. It's just everything that you would ever need a Batman costume to be, ever. It even has the part where his like eyes are whited out and stuff. It's just absolutely perfect.
This trend started from a YouTuber named K the God Talk, so shout out to them. But today, I'll be using modern superhero design trends to design the perfect DCU.
Awesome.
The first thing
Great.
to start off with the Batsuit are the ears. There's always a debate about how long...
Hold on, I gotta see that. I gotta see that. Come on. Come on, run it back. There actually are like Batman designs in the comics that do have like really wild out there ears like that, and they're like sometimes they get pretty freaky.
There's always a debate about how long Batman's ears should be. Should they be short? Should they be...
Is it? Okay, hold on a sec. They can't be too short because then when does that just because, oh my gosh, it's the freaking all-star Batman and Robin, the ass bar. So, oh man, like that is like either like Black Daredevil or like Catman. Like they cannot be too short. That's okay, maybe just a little too long.
Be medium? Should they be...
That's okay. There you go. That's a winner right there.
Panning out like this?
Oh no. That is not the vibe. That is not Batman. That is like Lynx Man.
This like an actual...
That's also just generally like a garbage Batman design, where the bat is so fat arsed that he's basically just a big rectangle on his chest.
Bat. I feel like depending on who the writer is, Batman always has some bullshit just stuffed into his ears, like a knife or like some radio or something.
Oh no, hold on. We gotta see that again. We absolutely. What? What is this? Is this for real? Is this not AI? A version of Batman where his ears are... Okay. No guns, though. No, guns. Guns is no-nos. No. Oh, but knives, though. Oh, yeah, rip and tear. Okay, so I think I'm used to the explanation, and I'm pretty sure this is a Batman Begins. Aren't they like little antennae? So you can like talk to folks or like listen in on radio conversations or whatever?
Like some radio or something. I've been a fan of the short ears since the Batman 2004 anime.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
Or like some radio
Peep that headgear. Oh man, when is this getting on Dank Pods?
or something. I've been a fan of the...
And can I just say, completely, well not completely unrelated,
like some radio...
but like, what on earth was up with the Adam West Batman having little drawn-on eyebrows? And like, there's like a little rectangle drawn on his nose for some reason? Oh, what's up with that? But okay.
or something. I've been a fan of the short ears since the Batman 2004 animated series.
Oh yeah, Riddler. Oh man, now I'm getting bad flashbacks of his like the Batman character design tier list, and he absolutely dogged on my man Riddler here. Now Chris Angel Riddler. That was bad. He done my boy dirty. Like I don't actually remember watching the Batman that much, or even really liking it, but I dug the character design. And he and I just do not align at all. L takes across the board.
But medium ears from like the Arkham games, that looks pretty sick. Or the long ears, I think that looks pretty cool as well. I think his first appearance ears,
yeah, those are okay.
They look alright, but I don't think anyone actually...
Here's the thing though. At the time, it's whatever, it's fine. I don't think you could go back to that now. I don't think you could go back to that now because people just compare it to Wolverine.
Once they're in live action, before the ears, I am pitching that we capitalize on the trend of using CGI. In that way, we can have a Batman with any length of ears, and it just changes depending on the scenario. Boom!
Awesome. Like, like you mean like Galactus? I know people have complained. They have not complained. They've explained that Galactus can change size, but you still gotta like. If that's the thing that you're going for, then audiences should still be able to like see it visually happening, and it should be explained to them that that is something Galactus can do, not just have him wildly change size whenever he wants, or more accurately, whenever the storyboarders need him to. Also, variable bat ear size, that's not even actually that bad an idea. I know he's like memeing right now, but retractable ears for when you don't want to, clip him on the door or whatever. Or just not get them caught on anything in general. Like, that could work. That could work.
Off to a good start, am I right? Now you might be thinking, Andy, that seems kind of pointless and a waste of the CGI budget. Well, have you seen modern superhero costumes? Everything is CGI nowadays, okay? Get with the times. Now the next thing we have to discuss...
Wait, no, slow it up.
CGI budget. Well, have you seen modern superhero costumes? Everything is CGI nowadays, okay?
That's really bad.
The next thing we have to discuss are the eyes. The eyes are one of the most controversial topics when it comes to designing a new Batman costume.
Is it? I feel like there's no wrong way to do it. I mean, again, going back to Dark Knight, he could switch it up. He could have regular eyes, or he could have those eyes. When he used like the thing that he wasn't supposed to use, and then he blew it up. But like, it was the best of both worlds.
We have yet to get a Batman costume with white eyes in a live-action movie, other than when Christian Bale Batman, he had that radio
there you go.
Sense thing. Can white eyes work in live action? Yes, of course they can, but not in the way.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, Deadpool does it, yeah.
You think everyone points to the example of Deadpool, but I don't really think that's a good
nailed it
translation, because Deadpool is inherently a comedic character and it does look kind of goofy. But I think for some reason people just choose to neglect characters like Iron Man or fucking Daredevil. I mean, I know Daredevil's eyes aren't white in the show, but they're not showing his eyes. And if you're gonna argue to me that he's not able to express any emotion with just the lower part of his face, then you're just as blind as Matt Murdock. Except you're not as good looking, and you don't have the other senses, and you get no bitches. But I get it, eyes are...
Dang, Andy, I mean, are you gonna start putting prices on these meals? Because you are cooking a lot.
Sort of soul. Everyone points to Robert Pattinson's eye acting and is like, oh, see, this is why we can't have white eyes, because it will just take away from performances like these. I mean, let's be real. If white eyes were to look good in a dramatic form, the Arkham games would have done it. But there's a reason why they didn't do it, because they wanted a human face to relate to.
Wait, don't the Arkham games sometimes have the eyes? Like, isn't it when he switches to Detective Vision?
For the entire story,
he whips out the Batman eyes?
Thrown around everywhere. I think the only way to satisfy all the parties at present is just don't give him eyes. This is capitalizing on the superhero costume trend of not giving superheroes a superhero costume. Going back to Iron Fist and Netflix's Iron Fist. Some would argue that that is the perfect Iron Fist look.
That is so bad.
No eyes for Batman. Also, are we forgetting bats are blind? So obviously he would have no eyes. Hold on.
Okay, so it's funny to meme, but let's just clarify the bats are not actually blind. They can see. They do have eyes. They can totally see. Maybe their eyesight isn't like anything to write home about, but they can see. But like, oh man.
I was just about to finish up the...
Isn't there like a Batwoman costume that doesn't have eyes though?
But there's one more trait of the cowl in the Batsuit that we forgot to address, and that is the texture / shape of it. Do we want it rigid with a sculpted and frown, or do we want it to be all cloth and hood-like so you can just whip it off like that? My god, man, there are so many decisions. Okay, let's...
My experience is that Batman's cowl is like a miracle material that's the best of both
let's
worlds.
break it down. So for most of Batman's history, it's been something more rigid, and I think that makes sense because it does provide some protection for his head. As long as he can move his head around, I think that's fine. Like the Batman v Superman one, I don't know how he's able to turn his head. Like that mask looks 3 centimeters thick, but somehow they did it. The Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises suit, it's a different headpiece from the neck.
Oh man, Dark Knight Rises is garbage, but that's an... I guess that's an okay Batman. His neck looks a little scrawny though.
Piece, so he's able to go like this. But in the comics, his headpiece is usually attached to his neck and cape. So is that really possible in live action? And by being possible, I mean while looking good while that's happening. The other method is to just go with the soft texture and be like, yeah, so I know it looks like cloth, but it's actually like some Kevlar titanium weave, but it looks like cloth. So you can just whip it off. But here's another question. Do we want the angry frown look sculpted into his cowl? Some would argue that it doesn't make any sense because when Batman interacts with children or whatever, he doesn't want to be scaring them. You know what I say to that? Bullshit. I want Batman to scare everyone. I don't care if it's a baby.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, how much does Batman interact with like little babies and children or whatever?
I don't care if it's a child, I don't care if it's an elderly person on the brink of a heart attack, scare them. So to deal with this, we'll be pulling out another costume design trend, and that is nanotech. Now, nanotech is very favored by the superhero fan community. Everyone loves nanotech, everyone loves it when the...
Scenes like this are why I hate nanotech. No nanotech masks made the film more enjoyable. All right, here's the thing, right? I've been raised on Power Rangers. I'm used to the idea of the you know, like the henshin, right? Where it's all like the act of putting on the superhero costume is like a spectacular ceremony in and of itself. So it doesn't bother me. It just needs more of like the presentation, like instead of it just popping off and on with a flash of CG, like play it up, right? If you can nail the presentation of this, it will work. It can be done. I am not categorically against nanotech. It just needs more of the cinematic flair.
Helmets and masks appear out of nowhere. It really just makes for more dramatic moments. I mean, it's just so much better than just slowly taking off your head and revealing your face underneath. Like, who wants that? So the DCU's Batman should have a nanotech cowl. See, now look at how good that looks. We can see the mask forming with the nanotech bots. Oh my god, and plus the CGI ears and the no eyes as well. Bro, I am cooking. Okay, next thing we have to deal with is the cape. So for this to happen, I am going to have to just quickly draw an outline of his body. Okay, so there are several factors to Batman's cape. First of all, let's tackle how
Bro, what is that build? My man is an absolute gym rat with his Doritos torso. What is that?
Greatest Batman cape. It's literally just dragging on the ground in tandem with his...
Yeah, no, I'm not into that.
But the argument
actually,
a long cape
no.
is how does Batman even fight?
Because Batman needs to be able to like not trip constantly.
Wouldn't be any good. Yeah, he can just move his cape behind his shoulders like a diva. Like
also, can we talk about his illustration and the fact that the arms are like in front of his chest, like he's doing the "Hey, can you put your elbows together" thing? And I just totally whacked the crap out of my mic.
But come on. Something we also have to discuss is the texture of the cape. The Bale Batman had this very fabric-y kind of cape. Ben Affleck and Pattinson Batman, they kind of have this more rigid texture. So for this, I
Ooh, hold on a second. Hold on. Go back. Because I did not watch this. The color on the Batman costume is kind of sick. I'm vibing with that.
They kind of have this more rigid texture. So for this, I think we should just find a good middle ground. Maybe
I should give the Batman, the movie, a good shake. Even though I absolutely hate the Riddler design in that.
substitute, and that's by using another superhero costume trend, and that is the trench coat. Yes, you heard me correctly. The 2000s and early 2000s
Of course.
substitute for a cape is making a return with the DCU Batman. Because capes are corny. No one's gonna take a cape seriously in this economy. Like, Batman's a comic book character.
Aren't there versions of Batman with a trench coat?
And you expect us to believe that he's gonna be wearing a cape?
Didn't he have a trench coat in like that time when he goes to like the space future or whatever, where Superman and his bug people have taken over the planet?
Clark Kent, if it works for Bullseye in 2003, it's going to work for DCU Batman. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I can't recall from the top of my head what a trench coat looks like.
No, man, you're doing it. You're cooking.
Boom.
Keep going.
He has a trench coat. It's kind of weird to look at this design without any hands or feet, so I think it's time to decide on what the gloves / gauntlets and the boots will be made of. Okay, so let's tackle the gloves first. There's really only 3 options. One, we have the first appearance Batman gloves where it's just up to his wrist.
Yeah, it's just gloves. What is with the purple gloves, my man?
With the spikes, the 3 blade thingies, and then we have the heavy duty gauntlet type shit that's been more popular in any.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Okay,
that's freaking sick. With the spikes coming out.
Gloves, okay, I know some people will be like, I actually like that look from the first appearance. Well, it's from the first appearance for a reason and not the 1,000 other time appearances for a reason, okay? I think you should definitely have the blade sticking out. At this point, I think it's just too important to ignore.
Yeah, those blades are sick.
Phrase, invest in what
I love that.
the floor. I think a guy like Bruce Wayne is going to invest a lot of money into what keeps him off the floor. That being his boots, and his cape, and his grappling gun. But we're focusing more on boots. I think these will be some pretty heavy-duty boots, and to be honest, I think it's the most easiest to get done right. So what trend are we pulling for the gloves and boots? You guessed it. Leather. If the Arrowverse can make leather costumes look cool, you can bet your ass that the DCU can as well. So what I'm saying is this Batman will have leather gloves and leather boots. I am crouching. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, I know I talked about the blades and stuff, but I realized that on this diagram, it would actually be behind his arm. So as we mentioned before, this leather...
I just have him like just kind of poking out the back like this.
That's how we want it. Let's draw some...
Like the Guyver.
Nope, I drew his trench coat way too short. Well, I think at this point, we just have to agree.
Oh my gosh.
Batman's trench coat.
Look at his little legs.
Magical. It hovers above the ground. It just doesn't touch the ground. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know, he's Batman. Sorcerer Supreme. Everybody knows.
It just doesn't touch the ground. Look at that gap. Look at this gap. It will never touch the ground because that will cause friction and it will cause Batman to slow down. And Batman doesn't slow down. He's fast as fuck. So far, I think this is a pretty good DC Batman. And I think all of you would agree. So right now, this Batman with a trench coat and nothing.
Honestly, not even that bad. Kind of cooking. I've seen worse. I've seen way worse.
DCU Batman. There are many ways we can go about this, but there is one kind of belt that I really don't want him to have, and that is a singular pellet belt. It just never really made any sense to me. You're telling me that Batman's fitting in whole batarangs and a grappling gun in a belt?
Yeah, that was always a weird look.
I think we
Not even lying.
In the storage of his belt. That's why we'll be.
Yeah, why are we lining up so much in terms of aesthetic on this video? But before, when we were doing the bat, oh my gosh, oh, that's awful. Why is it that we are lining up on aesthetics now, but when it came to the Batman tier list that he did, we were like polar opposites. We were like north and south.
The superhero costume trend known as militarization. It's a superhero costume trend where we just make characters look like they're some sort of military person, or just make them into a mercenary. A mercenary meaning having tactical ex-military gear everywhere. And
oh yeah, man, 90s pouches everywhere.
Comic book counterpart, but not really, because no one will be able to tell that they are comic book counterpart. So this utility belt, compared to everything else, I think I am being quite gracious. I mean, it just
pouches on pouches on pouches.
This utility belt, it should be
Image comic style.
Cool to just cover whatever he needs. It's just a very simple solution, you know. It's not
with straps, over the shoulder straps with even more pouches.
CGI changing ears. So let's get into it. Oh yes, Batman is with his utility belt, or should I say utility belts. So after completing the utility belt, we do have to address what is potentially the most controversial aspect of what would be
you're kind of doing it.
Trunks or no trunks. To not have trunks, it makes sense. Batman in film hasn't had trunks for a very long time, and by a very long time I mean probably close to 50 years. But DCU Superman, David Collins as Superman, he wears trunks, and apparently the behind the scenes reason for that is because they wanted to make him be more friendly and more approachable by children. Does Batman have the same concept going behind him? Not really. Like I said, we want this Batman.
Like as goofy as the Underoos are, just having like a big region for your crotch, that's not the fix, bro.
Trunks, but to just have regular superhero trunks like DCU Superman, I don't think it would really work. I'm gonna have to pull out another superhero costume trend here, folks, and that is make it scientifically realistic. Like, no one is actually going to be having trunks on the outside of this suit. That is why I'm suggesting that DCU's Batman should not just be made out of fabric or whatever sort of material. No, it should be an exoskeleton. That area is a particular weakness in hand-to-hand combat, and you know people like the Joker aren't gonna hold back from striking that zone. That is why I'm arguing that he needs more protection there, and ideally, protection that he doesn't need to think about.
Okay.
Work on its own. So Batman's trunks.
Oh, you mean like the automatic like crotch stopper 9000 on the Spawn costume?
Punching gloves coming out of it to fight for him.
Oh, now we're memeing.
So good. Good luck, Bane. Am I right? Bane's gonna be holding Batman above his head, but these two little arms, they're just gonna be...
Okay, little Fooly Cooley style boxing gloves on the crotch aside.
If only he had this
It's kind of cooking.
Man, see, I'm so innovative. Okay, so the next thing we have to tackle, this is a very important one. Some would say that this brings the whole costume together. It's the Bat logo. There are countless ways we can go about the Bat logo.
Okay, no, slow up. No. There's no way we're going to go through this without having like a little tier list. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that his little Bat logo has another smaller Batman on it. Okay, all right. So here we go. Let's break it down. Let's check out these Batman logos real quick. So 43, that's actually a solid start. That's presentable. 1949, I don't know why the Bat has like little headphones on now, but okay, whatever. And then we've got this, which looks like a burger that had some bites taken out of it. I don't know about that. That's not a very striking silhouette. I've also never really known how to feel about yellow on Batman's costume. Like, it's flashy, it's fitting aesthetically, but practically, like, why would Batman ever do that? Why would he dress all stealth and then have bright neon yellow on him? I mean, to me, that's like the people who dress in camouflage, but then they have bright neon orange. What happened in 1967? Like, did we just do, like, too much acid? Like, how is this a Batman logo? Okay, this is fine. This is, you know, as far as having yellow on the costume, it's fine. And then keep it going. This is even better. This is probably the best iteration of the yellow Batman logo. With the way that it's just all very swooshy. I like the way the lines all kind of point to the same focal points, like up here and down here. That's whatever. That's a little too much. That's getting pretty wide right there. This is okay. I like that as a combination Batman and Robin logo. This is okay, pretty minimalist. This is just this again. Let's see what else we got. We got our Batman Beyond logos, which are pretty cool. We got another one of these. This one is terrible. I don't like it. I don't like how it's just like a big M. I don't like how it comes way out and then just goes like straight down on either side. I hate that. This one's cool. This one is cool. I like the Batarangs basically being ninja stars now. That's cool. This is not cool. This is not Batman. This is Fat Man. This one is cool. This one is going back to like the silhouette of a burger that's been partially eaten. We got more Fat Man, even more Fat Man, still more Fat Man, and then these are just kind of whatever. So okay, that's my quick breakdown of my opinion of every Batman logo ever. Hope you loved it.
I speak for most people when I say that we don't want a fat bat again. Thank God that's already been taken, because since James Gunn used the Kingdom Come logo for Superman, I have a feeling that he might have used the Dark Knight Returns logo for his Batman. So,
yeah, that's terrible. That's absolutely awful. Worst Batman logo.
Or having just the bat itself. And I say the bat itself, but
no yellow. With that going on, if that's your aesthetic, please no yellow.
Closely with DCU Superman, a guy whose symbol is already encased in yellow. I feel like having another hero with his symbol encased in yellow, it just won't look good. However, the Rebirth design with the gold outline, see that?
Oh, hold on a second now. That's kind of fire.
Best case scenario, because you do want to separate this Batman from the past few Batmans we've gotten in the last 10 years. And none of them have had any yellow. And like I said, I don't want the yellow to be too distracting. Now, before we apply another superhero costume trend, we do have to talk about another aspect of the suit that is in conjunction with the logo. And that is the texture and form of the overall costume. Just how it'll look on screen, and that includes the colors as well. Talking about the texture, we know that this costume will not have any muscle padding in any way. We know that James Gunn is not a fan of that, and if you look at his past superhero films,
he's not. Hold on, slow up a bit. I want to read this.
James Gunn is not a fan.
Never forget that a very comic-accurate Batman costume was filmed, but not used. It's possible to put Batman in the gray and blue and not have it look bad. This is the way. At James Gunn from Shimbo 1977. James Gunn, I don't know. Looked good on the stand in the background, but I'm not sure. I believe Batman spent countless hours carving obliques into his costume. That is wow. That is wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. If I can just like bring this back for a moment. Whoops, that's not it. That's not it. No, you got it backwards. No. Honestly, the transparency doesn't even. No, it probably does need to be on because there's going to be some copyrighted imagery in this, I'm sure. He's referring to all these superhero movies. But, like... nah, dude, that's too much. That's too clown-looking. That is no Dark Knight. That's too much. I mean, in terms of production quality, you're there. But, wow. Wow. And I was talking about Wolverine comparisons before.
And if you look at his past superhero films, none of his characters have that sort of look. So I think it's safe to assume that this Batman will not be in a tight-fitted costume. In fact, if we look at the DC Superman costume, very flappy, as if you can just push down on the flappy parts of his costume, like this. So now that we have addressed that, the superhero costume design trend we are playing for the logo and the overall look for Batman's costume is...
random lines.
As
yes.
We all know, James Gunn is a fan of replacing actual muscle shaping with lines that are aesthetically pleasing and shape up the body.
I like the lines.
That means having the same design pattern.
That's a trope I don't mind.
And Maxwell Lord's
That's chill.
So he will be
I dig on that.
Logo with the gold outline. I do not have a gold or yellow marker, so you just have to pretend. And we will be adding MCU lines everywhere. Now, I think it's a bit unfair to call this MCU lines. It's just a product of its generation, We're just trying to modernize things a bit, keep things aesthetically pleasing to the eye without making it super tight spandex with just 3 neon colors. No one wants that shit. Oh, yes. That looks so
dang
what we want in the DCU. I mean, look at how aesthetically pleasing that looks.
That's kind of tough, except for, obviously the little, little crotch ants or whatever.
the final thing we want to talk about, no more costume design trends, let's just pick one and we're done. So the main options seem to be all black, black and grey, or blue and grey. So the all black's been done by the Christian Bale Batman and the Michael Keaton Batman and a bunch of other Batmans. The black and grey was done by Ben Affleck's Batman, and I remember when they first released images, everyone was like, oh my god, they're doing it, black and grey. Ah. And more recently, we've gotten the Robin Pattinson Batman black and grey, and that grey is a
Black and grey is okay.
and not as
Black and grey or all black, they're both good.
I don't know if you can even count that as black and grey. As for blue and grey, you might be thinking, oh,
No.
I haven't gotten the blue and grey Batman.
Unless it's like really dark blue, like midnight blue.
23. What a peak costume, am I right? From what I've seen, lots of people just want the blue and grey.
Honestly, it's not that bad except for the Fat Man logo.
Colorful universe like the DCU, but I feel like the black is so tied with Batman's identity in cinema, it's gonna be hard to deviate from that. I mean, you can have like the black with the blue shine. I don't know how that'll work in live action. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. We'll have black and blue. Problem solved. Let me just draw that up. Fellas, we may have concocted the perfect
Oh my
gosh. We've
gosh.
got changing CGI ears. We've got no eyes. We've got a trench.
Toriga,
We've got
Joker.
legs and a leg. We've got
Look at this common writer right here.
everywhere on his body. We've got exoskeleton.
That is
Oh my
exquisite.
god, with punching hands, MCU lines.
Dude's actually kind of doing
Not
it.
making it too wacky with muscle definition. And of course, we didn't settle for just all black or black and grey or blue and grey. We've settled for black and blue. And of course, we cannot forget the hovering cape that does not touch the ground. That was definitely not a mistake. It is a feature that I purposefully implemented into this costume. Alright, well, if the DCU Batsuit does not look anything like
That
this,
is-
I'll be severely disappointed.
I don't even hate it.
How to cook a steak and realize how much steakhouses are ripping you off. You can just do so much better on your own. You just gotta put in the research into what Hollywood's putting into their costumes, and boom, you can bang out a masterpiece like this. James Gunn, please. I mean, come on. Well, that's all I have for this week. And just looking at this trench coat, it does remind me of Bullseye from Daredevil 2003, which I did take a look at to see if it was underrated or not by today's standards. So check that out if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week.
Oh, did he? Did he? Hold on a tick. Hold on a tick. I gotta see that. Because I've actually always been kind of partial to that movie. The Daredevil movie that people like for some reason. So let me pull this up. We're not going to watch it right now.
Movie becomes old.
We're going to watch it in a little bit. First, I want to check out this one. This is the DCEU's rejected character designs. Because we watched some of his rejected character designs videos before, and they were pretty fire. I'm looking forward to more of the same. So let's get this cooking.
We're back looking at some rejected character designs from DCU, and by we're back, I mean more than a year later. That's my bad. When a film is starting production,
Well, I mean, it's not more than a year to us.
is thrown in all sorts of directions. It's literally for us to just brain vomit all sorts of dumb and weird ideas. So it's important to not be too judgy when we look at, oh my god!
Oh, what? What happened to my man? That is so bad.
What is that? I'll tell you what that is. That is a design for Joker Goon in Suicide Squad.
That is way too try hard.
What I wish I could say, but no, this is for the actual Joker.
No.
Okay, so there are several things I want to work through here before I decide to permanently blind myself. This haircut is called the 2016 E-Boy haircut, where having any hair on the sides or the back of your head will get you sent to jail, apparently. I don't know if there's crosses over his eyes are tattoos or just spray painted on, but
No, they just look like makeup.
questionable. He's not dead, so why is he doing
That is so bad.
The logical conclusion I can come to with this Joker is that this is the DCU's Jason Todd, but he's gone.
That is a disaster, man.
That's why he has all the scars and shit, and that's why he thinks he's dead. And I guess while we're on the topic of his face, what's going on with his mouth? Yeah, so I wanted to subvert expectations with my design. I know we're all used to
He looks like he just ate some, like, really nasty food and is trying not to spew.
very unsanitary ass.
There's a bunch of tattoos everywhere, but there's one that stands out in particular. What the fuck? Who came up with this? Credit where credit
That's
is due.
awful.
I do like how the bat symbol extends to the cape over his shoulders. That's a pretty smart tattoo design. But let's address the fact that it's not even like Batman tattooed on there. I mean, to be fair, this movie was in the same pre-production time frame as Batman v Superman.
Oh man.
Slide. But most importantly, who thought the middle finger sticking up in the center would be a good idea? I'm confused. Is that
That's
meant to be
awful.
Batman holding up the finger like that?
Ugh,
is it
so
like a
bad.
you Batman? Either way, I hate this. Having a hand with the middle finger up as a tattoo on your body is the fastest way to tell anyone that you don't know what being cool
Yeah,
is.
that's awful.
Scars, I don't mind them, you know. I feel like realistically,
That is like really
very
awful.
fucked up, especially with a Batman like Batfleck running around. That's why I don't really mind the grills on the Jared Leto.
Batfleck, that's
I don't know,
great.
It makes sense. His teeth probably
No, I like the grills. Yeah.
a million times. His other tattoos, apart from the playing cards, I'm not even gonna try to decipher. Does that say 666?
Very edgy.
Listen, if you wanted an edgy Joker, that's how you do it. So this is another Joker who, god damn it, he got me. If you thought the previous hairstyle was unfitting for the Joker, check this.
What is going on with my man?
Again, I don't know what's
Why
up.
does he have little upside down Ys on his
Diamond
eyes?
things that Jesters have. If so, why
No,
not-
man, no, not
what's
even,
the
no.
upside down Ys, huh? And of course, this Joker has Harley's name cut into it.
What is all over his skin?
That's what all abusive partners do, right? There is no way this is meant to be the Joker. This is literally a character model for an Arkham Joker thug.
This is like someone who got caught in Mr. Three's wax trap.
And just visualize this Joker on screen with Ben Affleck Batman. Holy shit, that would have been awful. But I always
Yeah.
respect when concept artists try
You
to-
guys did not cook. You guys microwaved.
Fucking what?
Please stop. Not another one.
Another job after this. This Joker is now open to network.
These are starting to feel like they're AI generated.
Reese or Ash? Why is he bald? Genuinely, who the fuck is this meant to be? If this character model didn't have the word Harley and all,
That's really supposed to be the Joker?
Get them to guess who this is. You'll be waiting for a million years. This looks more like Zaz than it does Joker. I mean, it is possible that they put all the black shit on him to make the textures more visible and stuff. So
That's,
I'm just
wow.
trying to
They keep getting worse.
not hate on this anymore.
Please tell me there's not a fourth one after this, huh?
Joker had as hair, aka the hair that looked like a single paint stroke.
'Cause this
Maybe
is-
I do prefer
this is brutal.
Joker over whatever that was.
Like, we're 4 minutes deep. We have just covered.
Everyone was forced to create a Joker
Oh.
when they said Joker was going to be more of a
It's
gangster in this movie, this is more
better?
what I expected. No dumbass tattoos, just a classy suit, but with bright whimsy colors at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't know if
classy.
it's meant to be shiny, but
As in a
it's
freaking
really
Halloween
fun way to
costume.
make it all creepy.
It's so shiny.
Get their face reconstructed after massive burns or like a chimpanzee mauling out their
Man, his face is messed up and not in a good way.
How this Joker would survive more than 1 second with Ben Affleck Batman? No, this guy will get folded like a fucking lawn chair. However, it's important to know that that will be the same case for any live-action Joker we've gotten so far. So yeah, so this is a major improvement to whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's
Alright, guess
fine.
Killer Croc was cooked from the start. I thought Killer Croc's condition was something
Wow.
like reptilian, not
This is-
fetal alcohol syndrome.
This is the beginnings of a good Croc
It was just a
design,
character. I'm guessing
but
they went with
the
this
color
because
palette that we're working
there's
with.
no way a head
Like-
could have been there. Is that meant to be an attempt at
Like
an
dark
outfit?
blue,
Or do we draw the line
brown,
between
and like
and under-
weird
Obviously,
muddy
this is
brownish
like a
green, and then
then I'm sure we would-
red orange.
His face just looks so
Like, can we not?
proportionate, which is probably what the artist was going
Also,
for.
the,
Maybe
the
it's
like
settling.
the
Oh
massive
my God,
goofy
that's
like
the name that's
like
going to kill it.
Eustace bag
Oh,
underbite.
shitty titty. I think it's safe to say that most of us
Whoa.
like the Wonder Woman look in the Wonder Woman film.
Okay, I didn't watch Wonder Woman, so I don't know what we got.
Piece of concept art in my What Happened to the DC
But, like,
video,
this
but
looks
this is
cool.
what a God of War should look like, not some mustache dude in an armor made of scrap.
Oh, that's what Ares looks like.
Ares looks Lovecraftian.
Like, no, this is terrifying.
And he just hits
That's so cool.
lightning. Would people have hated this because it's more Cloud than Warrior? Possibly. So I can kind of see why they didn't go with this. But just as a concept art piece, this looks sick. More proof that Patty
Yep.
Jenkins did not want an actual Wonder Woman vs. Ares fight. Yeah, I mean, if you see your opponent look like that, it's time to just catch an Uber home. You just gotta pray that Ares is all tired from starting World War One.
Yeah.
You're taking the absolute piss if you think Wonder Woman's gonna take on this Ares. Like, how do you defeat this? You're gonna die from inhaling too much dust.
Man, he's so cool. He reminds me of like the giants.
Gonna get small Ares.
He reminds me of the giant like super Hugo Weaving from that one Matrix movie, Matrix game. But I mean, this is tough. I'll take this too.
This would have definitely sufficed. This isn't really close to comic book Ares at all, pretty much, but it looks fucking badass.
Ooh, that's what Ares looks like in the comics, because that goes hard. That is cool. That is so cool. Of course, those are my colors, really. The neon blue on black.
It's so good they borrowed this for the Justice League flashback when Ares fucking takes down Darkseid. This concept was also so good that this is what they sent to the merch companies. I mean, come on, this looks badass, and I'm just gonna assume that it was Warner Bros who forced them to change it. Bro, I'm gonna say this again. This is the fucking Ares that took a chunk out of Darkseid, not the fucking mustache Magneto we ended up getting. I also love how they kept the shadowed face with the red eyes from the comics, and some might say it looks a bit too cartoonish, but isn't it?
No. I am 100% for that. I am 100% not for this.
Or you just keep him as human form, not this weird, ugly in between. Also, Ares, the god of war, turn that around, cause you're making me roar for those dogs you got out. Moving on, better than what we got, but still not that good.
Now, hold on a tick. So, okay. We've got a lot thrown at us. We got 3 different designs. Let's unpack all of them. This is okay. It's not a whole lot going on. Pretty bland. This has more of like a harsh contrast between right and left sides than this does. Like, I feel like this is less is more. This is an improvement. This is definitely my favorite. Look at that arm, man. That is cool looking. That is so cool. And the design of his head is cool. He's just cool. Like, I dig on this in a big way. Although he's not very cyborg. It's pretty much just the one arm and then the one side of his face. And then the rest is just this crisis looking like CNF type suit. But it's still pretty tough.
The cyborg design that was in the Justice League movie.
Yeah, that's awful.
Questionable one.
That is absolutely the worst. He just looks like a mascot for a graphics card.
In the entire DCEU. When I think cyborg,
Garbage.
DC character cyborg,
He looks like he was 3D printed.
70 human to robot split. The DCU instead was like, best I can do is half a face and the busiest metal texture ever
He looks like he belongs on the Power Rangers reboot.
known to mankind, so whatever we do with the CGI, it will look weird. Like, bro, unless Cyborg's in some battle mode, you can't have him all robot from the chin down. Are you insane? At least that's my take on the Cyborg look. I'm not saying I want a fucking Smallville Cyborg, but come on. So let's look at the first one.
Oh, hold on
I'm
a
not saying
tick.
I want a fucking Smallville.
Ain't no way. That's Cyborg in Smallville? What is Cyborg about him, man? That's terrible.
Cyborg, but come on. So let's look at the first one. The arm design reminds me a lot of Injustice 2's Cyborg. In fact, if this is actually from Injustice, I would not be surprised. It looks pretty cool, but like through all these designs, why does this pattern only happen on his arm and his face, and the rest of his body is like athleisure clothing? Why does the rest of his apocalyptic technology look like some shit from Gymshark? He's even got the sports bra fitted on. And the kicks too? You're telling me Darkseid's out here getting inspo from Nike? I do appreciate the attempt to give a little C on his chest as a logo. You know, I don't think it looks
Dude, I did not even pick up on that little C on his chest. Hey, that's cool. Ooh, old school Cyborg is so bad.
Also a metal arm.
That is so bad.
War Machine. You can see that, right? They're both black. Overall, I think I would have preferred any of these over the one we got. The one we got is too alien looking.
Yeah.
The compression clothing look makes it look like Victor Stone is still trying to keep his football career alive, but it's better than a million different diamond pieces shifting everywhere, causing his head to...
Yeah, so bad. My man's a freaking bionicle.
7. I mean 6. Here we have an early look at Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Whoa. Okay, so, we got Superman looking, the way he looks in the Snyderverse, not too impressed. Wonder Woman's, boy, she is desaturated. Still hate the Batman look. That's pretty much the Aquaman that we got. That is a way better Flash. And then Cyborg, who's like not even a cyborg. Okay.
Still can't believe we got a Justice League movie without a Green Lantern. Is that not crazy? For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna focus on Flash and Cyborg here.
I am actually for that. Like, Green Lantern would have been a bit too much. So this Flash, why does he got a metal, like a big metal plate around his waist? What's that about? What purpose does that serve other than to like limit his movement? And he doesn't have like the little swooshy swoosh on his head. He's just got like a little line here, like. And also just like very Cro-Magnon, very sloped skull. Like, his head looks so tiny. But he's got the big giraffe neck. And he's got like a little vent in between his moobs, right under his logo, which is orange for some reason. Like, Flash is supposed to be red and yellow, not like burgundy and rust.
Assume that this is the Flash suit they somewhat based the Batman v Superman scene on. Remember guys, this was still in the phase of comic book costumes where they had to be dulled and muted for live action. The Flash suit doesn't look too bad, but why is it so flat? It looks like the armor's perfectly molded to his body, and I can't really imagine how he'd be able to move around in that. Like, at least the one we ended up getting had different pieces, but this?
No, that's awful.
How do you even lift your shoulder? Like, what's that?
This needs work. I don't know. I'm having trouble. I think they're both kind of cooked.
And I don't even know if you can call that a logo. That shit is flat as paper. It's barely visible. I didn't mind the Flash suit in the Justice League movie. I don't think it's the best live action Flash suit to ever be put on the screen or anything, but I think it looked good. It's hard to say how this would have looked though. But now, the main event of this lineup is Cyborg. Can I say something?
Yeah, unfortunately, like, the worse the Flash movie is, the better the costume is. So, like, that really trash Flash, the trash, like, that was a pretty solid Flash costume. I know he didn't like it, but I did. Like, way better than, dude dressed up in, like, Japanese rope bondage.
Controversial. If this Cyborg had more metal around the scarred side of his face like traditional Cyborg, this would have potentially been a peak Cyborg look. It could use some more...
Nah, too over-designed.
This is fresh from being soldered to a mother box.
Too much mess.
I would add some bulk somewhere there.
Whatever.
Some weapons because, you can't form a cannon hand out of nothing.
Why can we not just have this Cyborg? This is the most iconic Cyborg ever. Why do they not do this design more? It is perfect.
And I love how his neck and one arm is still intact as human. We don't need too much robot in Cyborg. Listen, I don't know why they stripped any sort of brightness and color from this design, but here's to hoping our next live action Cyborg can look partly human like this.
Now this costume gotta be like, Cyborg to me is bright and shiny. Come on.
Here comes the Flash.
Okay, so this is like an in-between between the different Flashes we got. I do not like the two-tone red. I do not like that he still has the little vent between his moobs. He's got the stuff going on with the little swooshy swoosh. But, like, still got the giraffe neck. And he's got like a bowling ball head. Like, nah. And he's got what looks like robot legs.
With the suit that's only half red. So this is pretty similar to the suit we just discussed, but a bit more colorful. He does have the protruding wing things on his ears, so that's a nice addition. Again, I'm very curious how they would have made this suit and what it would have been made out of, because it looks pretty stuck to his body, but I don't know how that would look in real life. Also, can I just say his boots, like from the knees down, it literally looks like an Iron Man armor. I feel like it is a bit red heavy on his legs, so it just looks like he's wearing, what are those really high boots called that, some women wear? It just looks...
I would think that Flash's like leg region would need to be the most flexible. Like, actually have the least armor.
Like that, and he's just not wearing anything above that.
Because of how much movement is going on down there.
Pretty cool. And listen, I know I dissed the flat logo earlier, but he had to differentiate from the CW Flash somehow, you know, because these were running at the same time. Whoa. Pun unintended. Take the Wally West logo. I don't really care. I do appreciate how clean this looks without all the wires running everywhere. That's definitely more Huntress-esque than what we got. And in case you don't know,
hold on.
movie, I'll put it up here. So let's talk
Red
about
alert, incoming baddie.
Arrowverse Huntress would look like, but at least Arrowverse Huntress had a mask. But at least this Huntress has color. I mean, let's be real, Huntress's design basically loses all of its uniqueness once you remove the mask. Like, if someone were to try dress up as this Huntress for Halloween, who's gonna recognize that? This concept art though,
That is
this looks pretty
ho
sick.
ho.
It implements the cross design on the torso,
Fire.
show the weird amount of skin that her
Absolute
But
fire.
I'm gonna admit something that people might get mad about. I don't know about this mask. It's more the texture of this mask.
No, no,
It
no,
looks like
no.
grabbed from a pie
All
because
in.
of how smooth
All
it is.
in.
If they
That
had
looks
more
amazing.
Armor bits and bobs because, you know, she is human after all, and a more practical, utility-looking mask, I think this would have looked pretty cool. And I'm not gonna be out here asking for a cape because even I know a cape is a bit too extra for a street-level movie. But overall, this design, I wouldn't say it's perfect. I wouldn't even say it's great, but I think it's better than the one that we ended up getting, except the mask. I don't know how I feel about that mask. Speaking of a mask, bet you forgot this. Listen,
3D printed.
Black mask, literally. I guess
3D
it's
printed man.
because his name isn't Black Helmet, but this looks like an unrendered CGI asset that was
That's-
removed with
oh.
polygons before export.
Oh,
I think
bro.
the look we ended up getting in the film was actually pretty good. Yes, I do think that they wasted this character, and yes, I do question why they decided to kill him off at the very end. But overall, yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
intimidating. It's like if someone tried to 3D print a skull mask, but the model was designed by an amateur. Looks like Krypton's tech wasn't so far ahead of Earth after all. In case it isn't clear who this is meant to be, because it isn't, this is meant to be General Zod.
That's Zod. Oh my gosh. He is a thick boy. Absolute unit. That is an alien warlord, man. That is beyond Zod. That is
Isn't a
just
bad
like
idea. In fact, it looks pretty cool for a
it's
fantasy
just
sci-fi
Doom
movie.
Lord of all the
It
cosmos.
was kind of delicious. I'm
With
trying to
4
imagine what it
eyes?
would look like without the helmet and Zod's
He's
head.
terrifying.
It looks less of a Superman villain and more.
He is absolutely spine chilling. I would never want to square up to this bloke.
Why does he look like Egghead from Marvel? And why does that helmet make him look so happy? For both
He looks like a super ultra predator.
Like the muddy gray look we got. I think
He looks like the king of all
would
predators.
have looked really cool. But something about this look just doesn't seem very fitting for Zod himself. Maybe one of the Kryptonian goons. Because this guy
Yeah, if it's gonna be Zod, he needs a big Z on his chest.
And Zod does not need any shit on his back because he is Zod. But again, I do like the aesthetic of this. I just don't think it fits well with Zod. Holy aura.
What the? My man's just on a speeder from Return of the Jedi. What is the meaning of this? Also, why is this cape not billowing out behind him if he's on this high speed? It's basically just on a jet engine with handles on it. This is too much. This is too sci-fi for Batman. This is Batman in space now.
And you see this chasing after you. Who cares if you're going to jail? You're gonna whip that phone out and post that shit to TikTok because you know you're gonna get a bunch of
Nah, bro.
Did you know Anthony Padilla was almost cast as Superman? Let's wrap this up with where the DCU started, and that's
What?
pieces from Man of
No.
Steel. A traditional
Not Panic at the Disco
I don't know
Superman.
why the DCU was so hell-bent
No.
on making every logo that as shit, but I do prefer the Man of Steel
No.
logo over the DCU
That is so bad.
I don't know if that's controversial. But let's talk about that damn cape. This cape is more Batman-like than any Batman cape we've gotten in live action.
He looks so
We
evil.
got this kind of cape for the DC.
No blue at all.
That's literally the
Big eerie Dracula cape.
translated into live action. Oh my god.
Emo hair,
Would it
like
give
this
him his ability
is
to
not the
fight hand-to-hand
vibe.
Combat? Yeah, but who cares? Aura! Also, and this isn't very important, but that's literally Brandon Routh's face. Which makes sense because they probably hadn't cast Henry Cavill at this point. Not a fan of that hairdo though. Don't know what they're thinking with that.
That's rough.
Superman would not
Whoa.
launching that shit into space. This concept art reminds me of the Nicolas Cage Superman suit.
Holy
He
aura.
muscle striation line.
This Superman
I
is
don't know,
tough.
maybe it would have banged because the BVS suit did
This
look
Superman
like
looks
the main
absolutely
difference was the
unstoppable.
top piece is obviously the S shield lighting up like it's the fucking sun. You know what? I think this will look cool, but only as a temporary thing. And by
That
temporary,
is
I mean
tough
it's
beyond
fucking
tough.
Gildan is about to pull off
That is
some
so
amazing
cool.
feat that would make power scales all around the world shit themselves. Because I wouldn't want him looking like this 24/7.
That's the
Like,
best.
imagine
That
this
wow,
look in daylight.
wow.
That would look ugly as piss, sorry. And all those red vapor lines everywhere gives absolute Superman vibes. In fact, I think this would be a great
That's
inspiration.
whoa. What is this Superman? Yo, his arms look cool. His whole outfit looks cool. I dig on this. This is absolute Superman. I gotta check this out because that looks marvelous. The gold around his hands, the bright shining gold. That is tough.
For live action absolute Superman. He's got more of a traditional belt as well, not just those silver alien lines running down his body.
Yeah, that
But
sucks.
say, as a standalone picture, this looks pretty sick. And what kind of villain would
Yeah.
Superman fight? Someone like Metallo, who we did cover in the first part in this series, because he was originally meant to be included in Batman v Superman. So if you haven't seen that, check that out if you haven't.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
next week.
Oh man, video's over already. Wow, that was amazing. I mean, a bit of a slow start with just like back-to-back horrible Joker designs, but like those Ares all looked super cool. The Cyborg looked passable. Flash was all right. Flash was pretty garbage, but that Huntress was amazing. That Zod was just wow. And then like the dude who really puts the super in Superman, like that is hard. And so now I guess I'm gonna watch one more Andy M. Lee video, and then I'm gonna call it a day. I was not really planning on this being a long stream. In fact, I was gonna call it here until I just tripped over this video that I had meant to watch and then just totally forgot about it. But yeah, because the past couple of streams that we've done with I just totally screwed up my hair. The past couple of streams that we've done have been super long because, you know, I knew that I had a vacation coming up. And I just really wanted to like cram in that second season of Flicks Piece the best I could. So I'm okay with this being a shorter stream. Not even that short. I've streamed like 2 hours. This is going to be like 2.5. So let's check this out. This is the Daredevil movie that some people like for some reason. I'm some people. Like, I'm okay with this movie. So, like, it's not great. It's not exactly in my top 5 or my top 10 or probably not even in my top 20. I don't know. I'm going to have to do like a tier list at some point. But, yeah. I'll be interested to see this guy break it down. Because this is one of those movies, right? Where I just can't understand why. Like, you can complain about it, but like, why is this so hated? To me, it just seemed perfectly passable. It's like the Speed Racer movie. Like, why is the Speed Racer movie so hated? I gotta figure it out. So let's fire this up and see where it goes. The Daredevil movie that some people like for some reason by Andy M. Lee. Let's go.
When a bad movie becomes older than 5 years, it's bound to be called underrated. So today we'll be looking back at Daredevil 2003 to see if it is indeed underrated.
Like, okay, so Electro, honestly, like, completely superfluous. Bullseye, like, really falling in line with a time when Hollywood wanted to put out more superhero movies, but were secretly ashamed of them, so they tried to get away from traditional superhero costume designs as much as possible. But, I mean, Michael Clark Duncan, that's his name, right? I'm not a huge celebrity nerd, but Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is pretty fire.
All was and is justifiably hated. This movie has a 42 on Metacritic, a 2.2 out of 5.
Let me go ahead and crack another one of these open.
5.3 out of 10 on IMDb. That comes out to an average score of 4.6 out of 10. So starting from 5 out of 10, any good thing about this movie...
Okay, so not super hated. You know what? In the grand scheme of things, like, yeah. Of course, my view is going to be skewed naturally because I have seen some, like, truly profoundly terrible superhero movies. to the point that Batman v not Batman v Superman, although that is on the list actually. Batman and Robin like barely registers. I don't even think it breaks my top 30. But yeah, let's see.
Bad thing will be -1 point, and we'll see by the end of this video whether it can reach 4.6 and above, thus proving itself to be underrated. By the way, we're looking at the director's cut, which is an additional.
Yeah, I like that.
30 minutes.
I like that
I
system.
haven't seen the original.
Wait, hold on,
We're
what?
looking at the director's cut, which is an additional 30 minutes, and I haven't seen the
Additional 30 minutes. Holy crap. Okay, I have not seen the director's cut. I think I own it. It's somewhere in this collection that I'm trying to fix, but wow. Okay. Let's go.
original cut in a very long time. Apparently this is the first movie with the classic Marvel intro with the pages flipping, but with sound of the page
Whoa, this is the first one. Oh, wow.
flipping. Spider-Man 1002 had it without the sound. The new Marvel Studios intro is good.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was what they were going for, but the pages flip.
That sucks. No. Like, bring back the old Marvel logo, please and thank you.
Flipping and fading into the Marvel logo. I just love the intensity of it. We're up to a
Yeah, that really, like, truly felt like an awesome, like, opening ceremony. And they would always swap out the pages for pages of, like, whatever superhero you were currently watching a movie about.
Opening shot of Daredevil that looks ripped out of a comic book. We're up to a 7 out of 10. Daredevil
Yeah, that's sick.
Here is pretty different from the typical interpretation in the comics, where he saves an old man from getting hit by a truck, and oh my god, radioactive waste is went into my eyes. I'm blind, but my senses, oh my god, they're so much better. And the Ninja Turtles get formed as well. Here it's a bit more lame. He sees
Excuse me?
be an enforcer for the mob, so he cries running away, and then he gets hit by waste from a truck. Yeah, really establishing his heroic values there, aren't we? We're down to a 6 out of 10. And after an accident like that, you know what?
It's whatever. Perfectly serviceable.
Sponsor, ZocDoc. Towards the end of last year.
Oh boy, here we go.
Pretty bad. And you know what I did? Nothing. And that was probably the worst thing I could have done. I'm pretty sure if I just taken the initiative to go to a doctor and get the right...
Yo, peep that Daily Bugle logo set in the back.
Down my recovery period.
That's pretty fire.
Useless things from the internet that were unspecific to my injury, which is not what you want to do. Once a doctor looked at my ankle and gave me...
Does my man have the Incredible Hulk soundtrack on vinyl?
Is what ZocDoc does. ZocDoc is a free website that helps you book the right high quality and in-network doctor for you. You can search by the 200 plus specialists
Great.
on ZocDoc.
That's what
Dermatology, dentistry, eye care, and more. They have more than 150.
I hate thinking about healthcare in any way.
For you, you can see
It is the number one thing that is guaranteed to give me instant clinical depression.
Visit, then book instantly. Appointments through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. Sometimes you can even score same-day appointments. That's a luxury.
But we'll let it rock.
Head over to ZocDoc
We'll let it rock, because this is how this guy makes his money.
In-network doctor today. Or
I say support the original creator. This is kind of part of how you do that.
For the sponsor. Now back to the video.
Okay.
When Kid Matt wakes up and hears water droplets
Sure.
sounding like explosions, that's a pretty cool little detail. We're going up to a 7 out of 10. Okay, this is where we get our first look into Daredevil sonar sense, and
Oh, dude, the sonar vision goes hard. Like, that is... As far as, like, superhero movies that have a gimmick, this, to me, is way more captivating than the whole Ant-Man, like, get big, get small type of thing. I can't really put my finger on why. Just, I don't know, just something about this captivates me more.
honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. One part of me thinks it's cool that we got some sort of visualization, and they clearly put a lot of effort into making it look somewhat
Yeah.
decent. But another part of me is like, did we need this? Like, the guy's blind, and I don't think showing this helps reinforce that. It's like when the Netflix show did the World on Fire thing, which I'm sure they regretted because a lot of people did not like that interpretation of his radar sense. And I know
Nah, dude, nah. This is cool. You want to know what the world looks like to Daredevil.
some people say, dude, it's meant to be metaphorical. Yeah, but they literally do a CGI splash scene just to show it, so that's on them. However, in the comics, I know they often switch to maps of view, so I can understand why they did it in this movie. I'm just gonna leave this neutral.
Wait up a tick.
Switch to maps of view.
That's what it looks like in the comic. That is so freaking cool. Like, he lives in the intro to The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. That is sick. Okay, now I want another Daredevil movie, and I want everything to look like this.
So so I
Wow.
don't know why they did it in this movie. I'm just gonna leave this neutral. Didn't love it, didn't hate it.
Wow.
So we see Child Matt train, and there are several things I don't like about how they do it. First, no stick. I know he appears in the Electra movie that takes place after this, but no. I want to see him with Matt, okay? You're telling me this kid learned how to fight and hone in all his senses on his own? Maybe I'm taking too much influence from Man Without Fear by Frank Miller, but you need stick, bro. Which brings me to my next point. We don't really see Matt develop into Dead.
I don't know. Although, if you take Elektra out of this movie, you could have room for Stick. Maybe Stick is the guy that gets like tragically done in by Kingpin. Maybe that could be a thing. I don't know.
Despite this being the first movie. I mean, we see him do some boxing training and do a handstand on top of a building. Yeah, sick. In Netflix's Daredevil, we literally see him train and develop with Stick. And in Man Without Fear, we see him in all stages of life.
Is that Johnny Bravo?
Daredevil. And another thing I don't like about the scene, the narration is very tell, don't show. We already see how sonar works with the echoes and everything, but the movie...
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm imagining the scene without the narration, I feel like that does work better. So, man has a point this time.
Seems that we need it literally spelled out just minutes later.
My remaining 4 senses functioned with superhuman sharpness.
This
I'm just thinking this is very of its time in that sense. Because think about how movie trailers used to be, where there was always narration, and now there never is. This is just of its time, I think. Just informed by trends.
whole thing,
But,
minus
yeah.
1 to a 6 out of 10. Stan Lee cameo, finally, for a character that he did actually partake in creating. 7 out of 10. These bully fight scenes were so whack and corny. I feel like calling them AI generated is a disservice to what AI can do nowadays. 6 out of 10. The writer names and the writer cameos.
That seems a little harsh.
7 out of 10. They kind of speedrun his
Wait,
origin
what?
as a kid, and like I said,
Wait a tick. What are you talking about? Wait, that's Frank Miller?
they were pretty cool. 7 out of 10. They kind of speedrun his origin as a kid.
Wow.
And like I said before, I'm not really sure if I like that. More specifically, they never established where the drive of Daredevil comes from. There's just way too much in the movie, which I'll address later, but we never really get the hook, pun intended, as to why he's so into the law and justice. We don't see his teenage years or his college years or a beta costume, just nothing. 6 out of 10. This Matt Murdock's
I don't know. I feel like he's comparing it a little too much to other Daredevil shows, but I mean, I guess it can't be helped. I mean, that's his perspective. I got mine, where I'm not a huge Daredevil buff. I've seen this, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I've seen his cameo appearances and other stuff like No Way Home.
sleeps in a gothic coffin filled with water. I get that it's sensory deprivation, so he hears less of the outside world so he can sleep, but this was such a specific choice to include. I think at this point he should be able to hone in the senses to perform a basic human function such as sleeping on his own. Even the look of the coffin is so overly edgy.
Nah, dude, I thought that was super cool. Like, I liked his apartment. Everything about it was sick.
don't know what aspect of Daredevil they were trying to appeal to. Also, in the theatrical cut, it does show that he has a regular bed, so what's going on here? Like, imagine sleeping with...
Well, yeah, man, the deprivation tank is for sleep. The bed is for love. I mean, if he brings some fine young honey over to his place, like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do it in the deprivation tank? Like, no, that's not a vibe.
someone at the house, and after the deed, you're like, how big's your bathtub and how much salt do you have? Because I can't sleep here next to you. Speaking of which, is Daredevil's penis also ultra sensitive? That must be why he's so horny. Okay, I'm neutral about this whole thing. We'll stay out of 6 out of 10. Let's talk about the song selection for this movie. Some people might say that's aged poorly, and you know what?
No, not me. I never use the phrase age poorly because I just don't believe in it. I believe in things being of their time, and if you take them with that context, then you can appreciate them as they are. aged poorly is a phrase that I have almost never used and try to not use. Like, the soundtrack is very of its time. I'm gonna call it out for being chronically trendy. That's what I'm gonna call it. They just took the songs that were popular at the time, and that was their soundtrack. Very, very thoughtless, not clever at all. Just bad. Bad soundtrack.
Maybe it has, but doesn't mean I don't like it. Evanescence bangs and always will bang, okay? If this movie did one thing right, it's bringing them to the mainstream front. However, the specific needle drop timing and the specific song selection per scene, a bit off and overly confident sometimes. There's even a bit where Matt's walking around his apartment and he turns up the volume on the sound system to hear more of the music. Does he want to be deaf as well? I don't know if these songs with the whole alt-rock gothic vibe was considered edgy back then, but it's hard to imagine that it wasn't 20 years later. Like Suicide Squad 2016 had some banger songs, but how would they feel in another 10 years? I don't care what the haters say, okay? The Daredevil album gives this an extra point to a 7 out of 10. So
Really? Okay, he's for it.
as Daredevil, and boy, does he have some time to spare. The length of this costume sequence is something that should have been left back in the 90s. It is so insane how extra this bit is. Don't get me wrong, this was really cool as a kid, but I simply cannot process what possessed these people to make the scene go for as long as it did. Right after this, we see
I never noticed or minded it. Like, this is the first time he's putting on the costume. It should be a ceremony. It should be an event. Like, it's fine to me.
Daredevil swing around New York City, which is really just a classic Marvel taste, but it's not enough. We're down to a 6 out of 10. Going back to the sonar visuals, I get what they're trying to do here, and there's only so much you can do on screen to communicate 4 enhanced senses. But my question is, why is it so chaotic? Shouldn't Daredevil's vision be extremely clear? See, now I've convinced myself that I don't like how they did this. We're down to a 5 out of 10. So Daredevil isn't afraid to kill in this movie, and by isn't afraid to kill, I mean straight up leaves the guy to get sliced in half. By
Yeah.
in the past, comic Daredevil has killed before, but he's not Punisher level, but he also tries not to kill because he's a hero. The point is, I'm pretty sure Daredevil, especially modern comic Daredevil,
See, I'm just taking the movie on its own merits for the most part, so I just take it face value. Like, the way that like 90s Batman would off people, like, I didn't mind it because that's just that version of Batman. That's how he cook. So I didn't mind that. I don't mind this. It's whatever.
condemns killing. And this wasn't even a last resort thing. He could have just pulled him out to safety, but no, he just dropped one of the most iconic and coldest Daredevil lines ever.
That light at the end of the tunnel, guess what? That's not heaven. That's the sea train.
For some reason, I'm not too fussed with Daredevil killing.
Oh, that's sick.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not a true Daredevil fan, but I'm neutral on it. We'll keep it at a 5 out of 10. So when Ben Urich tosses a cigarette in the subway station and lights up Daredevil's logo on the floor. This is like the bat symbol in The Dark Knight Rises when it's on the side of the building. How does this make any
I don't remember
sense?
that.
You're telling me that Daredevil stayed behind after Bro got sliced in half by a train with a bit of gasoline and just drew out his logo perfectly on the ground? What? See, it's a bunch of little things like this that just...
He's got the little, like, squirt bottle from, like, your local hibachi. He just squirted out his logo and then bam.
Drag the movie down. So we're -1 to a 4 out of 10. We get a Heather Easter egg with Heather breaking up with Matt over the phone.
Matt, it's Heather. Are you there?
It's really nothing. We'll keep it at a 4 out of 10. But do you see what I mean when they just try to do too much in this? So let's talk Colin Farrell as Bullseye. You either hate him or love him in this movie, and personally, I didn't mind him. It was obviously very jarring to see Colin Farrell play this crazy, over-the-top character, even more so than Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
No, you can't be love him or hate him and then you pick the middle road.
Contrast to Ben Affleck playing it straight as a haunted blind vigilante. I think Mark Steven Johnson, the director, should have just grabbed this film by the titties and just told everyone, hey, this is the tone we're going for, everyone stick to it. Unfortunately, I think tonal consistency is something he had a lot of trouble with this movie, but we'll get into more of that later. Bullseye is also Irish in this movie, and in case of you realizing that, they play the song Top of the Morning to Ya by House of Pain when he's
That dude looks like Daredevil. Not Daredevil. That dude looks like Bullseye.
first introduced. We're the first
My hitch with Bullseye is that Like, in so many ways, his normal design, like from the comics, was already in opposition to, like, imperfect, diametric opposition to Daredevil. Like, Daredevil's dark blue. Bullseye is no, Daredevil's dark red, Bullseye's dark blue. Daredevil does not rely on his sight. Bullseye is all about his perfect sight.
Line is, "Ya see, I'm Irish, but I'm not a leprechaun." Bullseye has some iconic and unique kills in this movie, though. I will say, I will consider Bullseye.
Oh yeah, in terms of like action, in terms of what he does and how he does it in this movie, he is absolutely perfect. I absolutely love him. Like, if in that perspective, he's one of my favorite supervillains in movies. It's just like this. It's like just give him his regular costume.
And ageist, because both of these crazy kills were against old people.
Yeah, Bullseye hates old people. Confirmed.
Much better in countless ways. It just seems like Colin Farrell was given a different direction from everyone else in this movie. Overall, while Colin Farrell's Bullseye was kind of entertaining, I think they just did him wrong. So I guess you could say Bullseye was a miss in this movie. We're down to a 3 out of 10. I'm going to briefly talk about Jon Favreau as Foggy Nelson. I thought it was really good. I love the banter between him and Matt. I thought Ben Affleck
Yeah, that's fine.
had great chemistry. There's an entire side plot featuring Coolio where Foggy actually has a lot to do, and he...
See, this is what I've heard about the director's cut, is that freaking Coolio is in it, so color me curious.
ultimately helps bring down the Kingpin. So stuff like that, where I remember that whole thing was cut from the theatrical release, it just makes me scared to even just consider how the theatrical release would flow. Foggy Nelson in this movie is a plus, so we're going back to a 4 out of 10. The way Daredevil and Elektra meet in this movie is weird, to say the least. In fact, I'm not even sure why Elektra is even in this movie. Here's a quote from Johnson. Looking back on it, one of them is...
That also, just that shot of Elektra with the freaking 5 head, the freaking Mega Mind right here, not exactly flattering.
I'm not even sure why Elektra is even...
And also, just based on the shot, you can see what I was saying before about short ear Batman basically just looking like a zero sugar Daredevil.
in this movie. Here's a quote from Johnson. Looking back on it, one of the mistakes I made with the film was wanting to put everything in. I wanted to do Daredevil's origin story, and I wanted to do the Elektra saga, and I wanted to introduce Bullseye and Foggy. I wanted everything to be in there, but the film could only support so much. I wholeheartedly agree with this statement that was released 20 years after the movie.
Yeah.
Movies like if Spider-Man 1 did Spider-Man's origin story, Harry Osborn, the...
Not a lot of connective tissue between the Elektra stuff and everything else. It just feels like kind of a sideshow.
meeting and death of Gwen Stacy, a Mary Jane cameo, Green Goblin, and Dr. Octopus all in the same movie. The first movie. And also, remember at this time that Daredevil was virtually unknown to the general public, even more so than today. It's crazy to think about how much the Netflix series got right. I mean, maybe they learned from the mistakes.
Well, I wouldn't say unknown.
Season 1 was just about Matt, Foggy, and Karen taking down the Kingpin, and then they saved the next 2 pillars of Daredevil lore for the next 2 seasons. Meanwhile, this movie tried to do all 3 seasons in one movie with the exception of The Hand and The Punisher. Anyways, back to this movie, Matt's a creep. Unlike the Man Without Fear comic where it shows that Matt and Elektra are destined to conflict with one another, in here, Elektra is just some hottie that Matt sniffs out in a cafe. Updating on male Riz, he literally follows her out of the cafe into some playground where they have some fight dance battle. I feel like I don't have to elaborate on how fucking insane the scene is, but if you want to see me talk more about it, check out this video up here. I think it would have made so much more sense if they were already college exes by the time they met in this movie, but again, that's just more information you have to inject in the movie. This is just bad writing and directing. No fucking studio interference causes to happen, okay? So yeah, I don't rate this me cute. There's nothing cute about it. We're going down.
Yeah, there's no fixing this.
Continue talking about Elektra with this sort of, but not really iconic kiss scene. Again, I think this movie does a bit too much with literally showing her with Matt's radar. I get that's to establish that.
Nah, dude, that scene is super cool though. Like that. Okay, we were just talking about Elektra not fitting. Like that. That was super sick. Honestly, I'm already starting to renege on my opinion on Elektra being in this movie just based on that scene alone.
I don't know. This just seems...
And then the later scene where she's all like brooding over her dead dad and stuff, and so she puts up the umbrella so that Daredevil can't see her anymore. Like, that's pretty good.
Kind of lazy to me.
I like it.
I like the concept. It's just
That might be a deciding factor here in how much of a difference there is between his opinion on Daredevil and mine. Is I get a lot out of the gimmick of the sonar vision, and he does not seem to get that. I don't know. It seems like all of the things this movie does that are cool, they just don't hit him the way that they hit me. Like the deprivation tank or the suit up sequence.
Undermine
I don't know.
Daredevil's blindness. I don't know if this makes sense. You know what? I'm just gonna leave this as a neutral point. Let's stick with a 3 out of 10. So there's this bit where Daredevil chases this goon who was working as muscle and follows him to his apartment and beats the shit out of him. Then, oh my god, there's a kid in his apartment. What a deep, dark reflection on Matt and his dad, right? Well, that's what it tried to be, but this movie had no journey regarding how Matt perceived his dad. Like, if Matt thought that his dad was a scumbag for being mob muscle and never forgave him and never really understood how poverty can push people into crime, then yeah, I guess this could sort of line up.
No, that's not really true. Like, Matt Murdock still loved his dad after that. I mean, he went to see his boxing matches still.
But no, it's filmed as if it's some huge, big realization and turning point for Matt's character for a journey that wasn't even there in the first place. And if there was some sort of moral journey that he goes on, I must have missed it because they do loop back to this when it comes to the fate of the Kingpin. It's just so thematically messy. I know this is such a nothing point to some people, but to me, it matters, okay? 2 out of 10. I didn't know Karen Page was...
Yeah, unfortunately, the problem with Kingpin is that he's one of those people who probably should just go. Because the power of money is the power to just buy your way out of consequences in a big way.
in this movie, but she does appear in the direct...
Like, you can catch him, but he'll be right back out in no time.
Cut, played by Grey's Anatomy herself. She's really just a cameo with around 4 lines in the whole movie. Doesn't really change how I feel about the film. We'll keep it at 2 out of 10. Joe Pantoliano plays Ben Urich in this movie. I get that Ben Urich is a prominent Daredevil character, but he should have just been saved for the sequel. There's just way too much going on in this movie. Also, I can't really take him seriously after Wonder Man. We'll stay at a 2 out of 10. So Bullseye murders Elektra's dad using Daredevil's Billy Club, and when the explosion affects Matt's ability to catch the Billy Club in midair, I thought that was really cool and creative. And I would give that a point, but look at the CGI in the scene. Bruh. For that, we're keeping...
Yeah, that seems pretty sick.
Really sick...
What? No, you're not gonna bring that score up? Weak.
Montage with Elektra with Evanescence in the background. Oh gosh, I have so many questions. Why does this lady know how to fight with size again? Why does this room have a mechanism to string up sandbags? Since one of the sandbags has a devil drawn on it because Elektra thinks that Daredevil killed her father, you're telling me that Elektra is the one wwho had to string all these up individually?
Yeah.
Once these sandbags are done, who cleans this mess? Seems like a bit of a waste to just dump it all in the bin. And
yeah, that scene was dumb.
Cleaning up and setting back up would take for like, what, 20 seconds of practice? What? This is such a strange scene that I can see working in a comic book, but in live action, it just looks fucking stupid. We're down to 1 out of 10. There's a scene that ends with Bullseye telling Kingpin, I want a costume.
Want a fucking costume?
But when we see him again, he's in the exact same outfit that he's been wearing the entire movie. Yeah, sick payoff, bro. We're down to 0 out of 10. So we have a battle between Daredevil and Elektra, and a battle between Elektra and Bullseye. The wire work in these fights is so awful, but hey, it's 2003. A key credit I can give to this fight is when Bullseye kills Elektra in basically comic book form, but without the colors.
You're good, baby. With me, I'm magic.
If Colin Farrell was just a bit less zany,
Wait,
I think
what?
this scene and the entire...
I don't even remember this. Wait.
Me, I'm magic.
This is... No. This has got to be a director's cut thing. I don't remember this at all.
If Colin Farrell was just a bit less zany, I think this
Is
scene and
it?
the entire movie
I don't
would have
remember.
lifted just slightly. But hey, overall these fights get a +1 from me, so we're at a 1 out of 10. Actually, now that
Folks
I
gotta
think
tell me if that's
these
director's cut or
Daredevil
not.
takes on all those gangsters, that was pretty cool. We'll put it up to a 2 out of 10. So skipping forward, Daredevil and Bullseye do have a rematch, and coincidentally it does take place in a church, just like in the Netflix series. So that being my source of comparison, this fight does not look good. Just a bunch of... When
What?
Bullseye breaks stained glass and he catches it...
Oh, that's so cool.
Throw them as a pile, but they shoot out like ninja stars. I don't have a problem with Bullseye throwing glass shards like ninja stars, but whose idea was it for Bullseye to catch them like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man 1 and then throw them as a pile? And the CGI in this fight scene is atrocious. I guess
Nah, dude, no. I love this fight scene.
Out that Daredevil's weakness is loud sound, so he just fucking
Bruh.
church bell. My other favorite part is when Bullseye gets shot through the hands and he fucking poses himself like Jesus, Daredevil just throws him out the fucking window. But like in all action movies and TV shows, a car is basically a stack of mattresses, which is what Bullseye lands on, therefore he survives. See, again, this is what I mean by the movie being thematically inconsistent. Like, is Daredevil trying to not kill or something? Because he's happy to toss Bullseye out to his death even after Bullseye surrenders. Is there
Yeah, he didn't really know.
that I'm missing out on? This fight really is...
You know what? You're right. There was no way he could have possibly known that Bullseye would survive that trip out the window. It would have been more thematically appropriate to just leave him in the church to repent, as it were.
It's a mixed bag, so I'm going to keep the score at 2 out of 10. So now we get to the final showdown between Daredevil and Kingpin, the latter played by the late Michael Clark Duncan. If you think about it,
This is
race
pretty
movie
cool.
was pretty ahead of its time, and even back then, apparently, people were complaining about it. But I think such complaints were...
No, man. This is awesome. I loved Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I thought that was great casting.
Because Duncan plays a really good Kingpin. Was he as good as Vincent D'Onofrio is as Kingpin now? I would personally say no, but he's still really good, and it helps that he's built like a fucking transformer. He's not the cold fist we've seen in the series, but he's just really fucking slimy, which I think really works with the story. I would love to see more of this Kingpin in this movie rather than shoving in Elektra and Bullseye and whoever else is in this movie. Side note, yes, I do know that he reprises the role in the new Spider-Man animated series. Honestly, the fight scene is a pretty good showdown. We get a
He
payoff
does?
for helping out
I don't remember that.
We finally get a payoff for avenging Matt's dad, and Daredevil kicks Kingpin's fucking knees out. And then Daredevil decides to not kill Kingpin and let the law handle him because... I have no clue. Again, Daredevil literally tried killing Bullseye by throwing him out a fucking building like 10 minutes earlier, so... And there is a small plot point about how Matt sees himself as the bad guy after the whole kid witnessing him beat the shit out of his dad moment, but... I just, like, it just doesn't really gel with the rest of the movie. I also think the fact that Kingpin being the one who killed Matt's dad was a little contrived and a bit unnecessary, but whatever. So for Michael Clark Duncan's portrayal of Kingpin and the final fight, we are up 2 points, and that brings us to a 4 out of 10. We're not done yet. We need to talk about Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Apparently Ben Affleck was super passionate about the role, and he read a lot of the comics even before signing on, and he regrets to this day that he couldn't make a Daredevil movie work because, you know, he really loved the character.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. People complain about this. I thought he was fine as Daredevil. I thought he was fine, and then people got worried because he was going to play Batman. Like, I didn't get that either.
I thought it was a pretty decent Matt Murdock because he's got the charm and the seriousness. I also like the small
Yeah.
details like the cloudy eyes and the scar tissues around his eyes and also the red tints in his hair. He doesn't really get any flashy emotional bits in the script to show.
The red hair was a bit much. I don't know about that.
Far from the worst of this movie's problems, so that's a point to him. That brings this movie to a 5 out of 10. The score for Daredevil 2003 is a 5 out of 10, beating out the average scores, therefore making this an underrated... Oh wait, no, this movie was sponsored by the New York Post. That's a minus 1 point, so we're down to a 4 out of 10. 0.6 points off from matching the average score, therefore making this movie justifiably hated. But I will say that I wasn't bored with this movie. This wouldn't be...
No, I just... Whatever, man. For me... Oh, it released on Valentine's Day. That's interesting. Nah, I think it just comes down to bias. Like, the things that we pretty much agreed on the things that we like and don't like for the most part. It's just the things that I like more than he does. And the things that he doesn't like, he dislikes more than I do.
Rewatch, I can definitely see why people would take this as their guilty pleasure. I mean, I don't know why you would choose to rewatch this movie out of all the other movies that exist, but Daredevil fans are weird. If you are a Daredevil...
Because it left an impression on me. You know? That's a hell of a lot more than I get out of a lot of superhero movies where I watched them, and it's just like in one brain cell and out the other. A lot of them just don't really do a lot for me. Like, I don't know. Like Thor, any given Thor movie is just whatever. I think that's like my perfect example of like a 6 out of 10 superhero movie. Trying to think of like another really mediocre movie that left no impression on me at all. But then that's the problem, isn't it? I'm trying to think of one, but the whole problem is that they're like profoundly forgettable. Like, what's another one? I don't know. I mean, I was just talking about the Power Rangers reboot, right? Like, that was pretty cooked. And it's too sad, really, because too sad, too bad. Because I remember walking out of that movie and being pretty pleased with it, but my opinion is just soured over time. Oh, like Age of Ultron. Well, I thought that was just straight up bad. I'm trying to think of like really middling, just straight up forgettable superhero movies, but then I can't remember them because I forgot. Jonah Hex, I guess. Jonah Hex. Although the Jonah Hex movie was way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be straight trash. It was pretty passable. But I look for more than passable in movies. Like, I would almost prefer like a straight up bad superhero movie because at least those are fun to watch. I can riff on them. They leave an impression. I feel like I learned something about how to not make movies from watching bad superhero flicks. Whereas the average superhero movie is average because it's usually just like safe. Doesn't do anything special at all. Will be another like super middling superhero movie. I'm really trying to think, and I'm just not coming up with a lot. Because again, that's just how Ant-Man. We just talked about Ant-Man, where the gimmick. I don't know. Maybe if I was younger, I would feel different about it. But to me, the whole getting tiny thing just wasn't enough to really suck me in. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. But that's gonna be it for this, I guess, and that's gonna do it for this stream. That was 3 awesome videos. We did it up with the double deuce of back-to-back One Piece chapters. The last one was like the best, like absolute fire on fire. That was an awesome stream, and it's good to be back. But of course, we got no One Piece next week, so we're gonna be on break. We're gonna be on break. Oh, so okay. So today's Saturday, huh? So let me think. So we're obviously now we're not going to be streaming Sunday. I said I'm going to spend Sunday with my best friend, and then no One Piece after that. So we're actually going to be gone for a while again. I figure we'll come back on the 19th of April. It'll be at our usual time. Like about 1 p.m. And, yeah, but of course, nothing's ever set in stone. There could always be some sort of like horrible catastrophe. So if anything changes, best way to keep up is to just, monitor all my little socials down here. If you had to pick one to keep an eye on, I would recommend Twitter. Just because that's the easiest to manage for me. But that'll do it for now. Thanks for checking me out. As always, your support is very much appreciated because every view, comment, subscription, follow, it all helps push us on to, bigger and better things. But for now, I'll go ahead and sign out. And happy Easter, y'all. You have a good weekend, good Easter Sunday, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Catch you later. Have a good night. Oh no, that's not the right one. This one. That's the end screen. Okay. See you later.